What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening and welcome to the EPIC LOA Battle. Today is day number 2 where our prestigious game developers go head to head again. A new set of challenges. Yesterday, the game devs had a very simple 2-0 victory over Team Palo. So we will see today if they can continue that momentum. My name is Husky and alongside me is of course the one and only Arthur. I woke up to a very good mood today because we get to see DotA tonight, but I want to know how you feel.
I mean, I'm feeling great. Like today, we got a lot more prizes to give away. Like you said yesterday, the game dev managed to take the game 2-0 pretty convincingly. I would say not so convincing in the second game. That was very entertaining.
Yep.
But today, I'm looking forward to see what our challengers have for us. So, can our developer teams be challenged this time? We are about to find that out. But not only that, we have got a lot of new prizes today as well because today is called the Genesis Combat, right?
Yeah.
We are giving a lot away to the winners of this best of 3. The winners are actually going away with 1 Genesis capsule, and also 10,000 LA tokens for each of the winners. So that is a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for our viewers out there, they are, certainly cryptocurrency fans, NFT fans, and also DotA fans. So I think this is a very great marriage. And speaking about marriage and coming together, if you guys don't know what League of Ancients is yet, I'm about to tell you guys something really awesome. This is going to be revolutionary because League of Ancients is actually an NFT-based mobile game that is inspired by Dota 2 and League of Legends. And of course, it is free to play, but play to earn. So you can actually join and be a part of this community. And they're actually going live for alpha testing in Q3, and the official release is going to be in Q4 this year. So buckle up, buttercups, because there's a lot coming up for everyone out there. And of course, everything that you earn in game, your cosmetics from all of your capsules, those are all your own NFTs, and you can also resell them to get more profit in the cryptocurrency world. Blockchain and crypto, I think it is about time we welcome them into the gaming world.
Yeah, for sure. Myself, I'm not an expert on it, but I do feel like I need to start buckling up and studying more of that because, like you say, it's a marriage. There's beautiful, games, and then crypto. You get to play to earn. But before we go into more, it seems like we have got some schedules here or format that we will be looking at. So let's take a look at that.
Yep, and this will be our tournament format. It is very straightforward. Just like yesterday, it will be a best of 3 between Team LOA, which will be our team game developers, versus our challengers. And in fact, I think when we started off day number 1, we thought that, alright, the game devs, they are good at the game for sure, but they probably are going to, kind of mess around a bit. Well, they did in game 2, but at the same time, you can see the fire in them, right? They actually want to win the game. I mean, Team Palo made them sweat, but just a bit, a sip of the water, and they are fine. But we have a recap of what has transpired so far. It is only day number 2, and you can see the Team Palo yesterday almost did not have any chance. They had a Tinker, which was kind of like the saving grace, but of course, a dear Pudge had to shut that down. So Ajax was certainly the MVP of game number 2 against Team Palo.
Yeah, I mean, this entire tournament just feels like, it's not only entertained, it is also very competitive as well. Because you know what, the game developers themselves definitely have a lot of belief in their own product, right? That's why they are trying so hard to bring those capsules and those LA tokens back home. And if you are wondering why are you even here, the game is going to be released at Q3 of this year, why are you here? Because if you get into this game early on, if you get to study those knowledges and get those capsules and tokens in, you are going to stand a very huge advantage when the game eventually come out. You are going to have a lot more bullet compared to the others. Yeah,
absolutely. You can actually start staking, the tokens already. And speaking about that, we have the ongoing stake to win contest. It is actually happening right now. There is still 10 days remaining until I think 23rd of January this month. And of course, for the staking mechanism, anyone who stake or players actually who stake the most will get a chance to win really awesome prizes. So the first 100 players actually will get to win something. But of course, according to rank 1, you get to walk away with 1 immortal skin. Rank 2 to 15 will be a Genesis capsule. Rank 16 to 40 will be the Alpha capsule. Rank 41 to 100 will be the Beta capsule, and of course 20,000 LOA tokens giveaway. So there's just so many things that these guys can walk away from. But But before we proceed further, we will take a look at the recap of highlights of day number 1. And this was I think this was the game number 1, right? Game number 1 between Team Paolo and our devs. And this was where the OD pick was kind of like the star of the show. I believe, by Beth on that OD, just getting that media hammer at 6.5 minutes. And this game 1 was kind of a Team LOA highlight.
Yeah, I mean, you can just look at OD. If you guys missed the game yesterday, this is a proof to you that OD is still very busted in the current meta, and the synergies between the game developers are just insane. Like we say, they want to bring those prizes home, and you can tell that their coordinations are on point. Everything was great, and if you look at the score, it's just a very obvious run down here. Ursa didn't have any opportunities to really output his damage against 2 banishment from the OD and also from the Shadow Demon as well.
Yeah, and at the same time, we also kind of saw this phenomenon where on the side of Team Paolo, they had this very early tri-lane for the Ursa. They put both supports there, and of course they put this Legion Commander against the TIE Hunter, which we both kind of were wondering how was that going to turn out. And the answer was that not well. It did not turn out well at all for Team Paolo. And of course, against all these huge team fight ultimates from the side of Team LOA, life got harder and harder as the game progresses.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look at Ursa, he's just getting bullied here and there, and OD with the Agonimus with the double banishment really proved to be a big kryptonite for the Ursa. 33 to 13, you can tell that the game is just really hard for Team Paolo, but I believe this was just like a tipping point for them, because in game 2 they come back really strong, and you are about to see that game 2 the Tinker was really the highlight to me yesterday.
Yeah,
and of course the Pudge as well.
And even Team Paolo, they demonstrated a lot of resilience, right? Refusing to give up even though they called GG like 10,000 times, but the game does not end. So you really showed us that that never give up spirit is a core personality of Team Paolo. But of course today I think we are seeing a different set of challenges. We'll find out in a bit. But Team Paolo has already set the precedent. It showed all the challenges out there, how strong our dev teams are. In fact, these guys actually have a ton of experience when it comes to MOBA. And I mean, the project here, I mean, Mr. Dwayne, this guy has 20 years of experience. 20 years! That's basically 85% of how long I've lived on Earth. So that's a lot of years.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm just glad that our developer teams, they're basically made out of all Malaysians, and they are involved in such a game that we all love, like Dota 2. If you're a Dota 2 fan, you have a League of Legends fans, you will love this game, because it is basically a game that is inspired by these 2 best mobile games on Earth, and I believe you just get a lot coming out from this game. Because what do you actually encounter a mobile game where you can actually play to earn? Like when you play and if you lose, you not just lose MMR, you can actually get something out of it. I think that is really what we are needing here.
Yeah, and I think this really takes the whole idea of playing games to earn money to a whole new level, right? Back then, you become a professional player, or you form a team with your friends and you participate in community tournaments to kind of earn some money every now and then. But right now, you don't even have to be a pro player. You just have to be good. You just have to know. You just have to really understand how the ecosystem works, and then you have a chance. But of course, this is the game 2 highlights, and we saw Ajax, very flexible player, went from post 1 to post 2 on this Pudge, really giving Peanut Panda a lot of headache as the audience, but also giving us a really good show because he was the one who won the game at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we are gonna get to that point very soon, but this is really where we were getting a little bit worried for the team developers, because this Tinker is just having such a free reign in the game. It's just getting all those lasers in, the double kill, the triple kill, and it was looking really dangerous for dev teams. But we will get into that point where we're gonna see the Pudge basically single-handedly win them the game.
Yeah, and even the Pudge is in the mid laner, but to be very fair, I felt like the Pudge could have easily been the post 1 in this situation, right? Meepo was rendered kind of ineffective. We were talking about Winter's Curse being the biggest threat, but of course it was the Tinker who really showed up huge. This was kind of the beginning of the tipping point, right? The Aegis destroyed by the Tinker, and the PA at this stage as well got that fresh BKB, has a dash, so they were actually really ready to fight. But you can see this Tinker just playing with so much confidence and finesse and just keeping the team in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if this is not the proof that Tinker is absolutely broken right now, I'm not sure what it is. If you look at the net worth chart, everyone was suffering on Radiant side. It's just really the Tinker that is holding the game for them. And once this overwhelming blink was picked up, Tinker was feeling like, this game is about to come to our back. But then again, Dire side, they really show that they have been working together a lot. At the end of the day, they are developer teams, so they definitely have a lot of synergy coming into this game. They know each other well, and I'm just glad to see, at the end of the day, they managed to come together and bring this home.
Yeah, and so yesterday we had the dev team really putting up a spectacle, but today, do you still want to be on the dev team side, or do you feel like, maybe our challengers should kind of kick their butts and win some games?
I mean, the thing is, dev team, game 1 and game 2, the mindset was very different, right? Game 1, they drafted a very competitive style of draft, and in game 2, it looks like they want to have some fun. They kind of understand, alright, our opponent teams, they, might not be as on our standards, so let's have some fun with the Plush and Meeple. So today, I think it really comes down to who are our challengers. So I'm really looking forward to that because we have no info, which is what makes today so much more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, our challenges are 5 mystery guys, and depending on how game 1 goes, right? If game 1 is a really close game, we probably won't see these kind of goofy drafts. And this was the dieback for the Tinker and also the end of the game. There's nothing much that Team Palo could have accomplished. So that kind of wraps up a recap for day number 1. Just again, even though we gave a lot of praise to Team Palo in game 2, at the end of the day, it was still a montage, primarily spotlighting the dev team. And just now, before we went into the recap, we were talking about how the stake to win contest is still on, right? But some people might think, so how do I join the stake to win, right? Because when it comes down to cryptocurrency, sometimes whitelisting is a very normally used term. But for this, you don't even have to be whitelisted. It's open to public, and all you have to do is to make sure that you have something staked, just 1 token, and you will be eligible for to be in the stake to win contest. And of course, on top of that, there's so many things to give away. 1,000 wallets will be randomly selected from all stake to win participants, and it will be airdropped the token price to the respective wallets, and each winner will get 20 LOA tokens. And with that being said, let us bring in another expert from the other side of the screen. Let's welcome Pinda Panda, our lovely guest, onto the desk. Hi, Pinda.
Expert.
Hello.
Yes, you look great as always. How are you doing?
My camera is better today, right?
Oh, a lot better, yeah.
It's a lot better.
Very better to look at your pretty face today. Very happy.
Yeah, cause yours is blurry, so I prefer that.
you just had to do it to yourself. But it's okay.
Exactly.
We'll take whatever we get.
Yeah, this is a nice trash talk. Like it's like the softer one. You know what I'm saying? It's better than the in-game trash talk. You guys know that already. But are you guys excited for today's matches?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I want to see what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, so before that, right, I want to follow up with you, Pinda. So yesterday, before the broadcast ends, you were on the fence whether you want to play Pudge or whether you don't want to play Pudge. And I want to know, did you play Pudge?
I wanted to, but it was banned on the first 2 games, and later on I completely forgot about it. But I wanted to try Pudge Bit. If you guys haven't seen yesterday's games, like Husky said, it was freaking insane. Woohoo! I mean, yeah, that's one of the best Pudge games I've seen, and we saw the guy he was like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm right here. I was super impressed. I love that they have the girls in team as well. They're super OP as a team. Yeah, but Pudge Mid is still a big no for me. If it's in the enemy team. Yeah, no. But I did play a lot of techies. I played a lot of Ogre. Ogre is so in the meta right now, guys. I don't know what to say. It can be core. I was playing support, and within 20 minutes, I was getting my scepter too. I was like, what? But I'm only support. But like I said, either the enemy team is super bad or I'm super good.
You are really a big Ogre believer, aren't you?
Ogre advocate. So I like to think of it this way: if you win a game of Dota, you have to give yourself a pat on the back and tell yourself that you are good at the game. It's like enemy is good, but you're better. I think that's a better way to approach it. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, okay.
They should be voice line, right?
Yes, they
Dota
should
make a voice line. You're good, but I'm better.
That
Oh,
would be
hopefully.
that would
It's
be
time to
the
submit this excerpt to Valve, and
Can we,
maybe
please?
we should.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
will
I
hear
want
your
to see
voice
that in the next
time.
Meta Pass. I would definitely buy that. And
I will be
just-
spamming it,
Yeah, I
right?
would be spamming it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the motivation. I'll work on my voice, make it a little huskier.
You're welcome.
But yeah, what's happening today? Tell me about the matches. I'm so excited.
Oh, so the only thing we know is that our dev team is locked and loaded, but of course our challenges, they are mysteries. They're still mysteries to us. We don't know who they are. But what we do know is that there's actually a giveaway for LOA, League of Ancients. And Pinna, yesterday we went through it. Do you want to introduce it to our audience, what we're giving away?
Sure, the LFT skins. It's on. They're not giving away 5, but 10 today too, right? Is it for 3 days? Yeah, 10 today too. It's amazing. Finally, they're joining in the gaming scene. You get. I'm going for the elemental skin. I did. It's in the link, by the way, the description. The to participate, the giveaways. It's in the link. You can check it out. It's through Gleam, so it's cleaner. I was able to participate, so thank you for that. Hopefully, I win the skins, right? And yeah, Husky put it. It's coming out the third quarter this year. I'm super excited for you. You guys share it with your friends. Know more about it. If you're not good at Dota, then well, it's time to invest in this. Make some decent money. And skins, you can sell it at whatever, whenever you want. You can save it. You can, the price may go down. It's like buying Dota items, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's better than Dota items. It's real money. Dota items, you can't sell it for money. You get Steam credit. But this, you can actually earn. So yeah, you don't have to be good at Dota to do this. Basically, you can be a Crusader or even a Herald player or anything. But you get what I'm saying. You can. It's available for everybody. Share with your friends and then join in on this super duper exciting adventure. That's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
This is
After all,
truly the
isn't it?
game where you can be, it doesn't matter what your rank is, you can tell friends, rank doesn't matter. MMR is just a number.
Yeah.
Rank is just a number.
Rank doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
Arthur, that's a good one. Rank doesn't matter. It should be there. It should be on the bottom.
Yeah.
Look at my skins, man. Do you have my
yeah.
skins?
Do you have my skins? Like you have, you are the highest rank, but do you have what I have?
Exactly,
I'm making bank, yo.
I mean, that's just what I love about developers, right? Their ideology for this is that they believe all of the players, they should be able to earn as much as professional gamers, and you don't have to be
high time.
super good
Yeah.
to earn. You can just, if you share the same passion, if you share the same interest, if you put in the time, you can earn as much as those pro gamers as well.
Yeah, now you don't have to go to TI, right? You can just be a casual player and have the same chance to make some money off of playing games. Like this is the wet dream of every single gamer, right? I can justify to my parents that playing game is actually a career choice.
Exactly.
You don't have to go to TI. I like that. Yeah, you don't have to go to TI. So if your TI dreams are not happening, boys and girls, this is the dream that could be possible. Be smart about it. Be smart about investments. That's the only advice I would give you. And always watch what you're getting. But yeah, join this giveaway. That's the way to start. This is a good way to start. So click in the link in the comment description and go for it. And everything is in there. It's very easy. Right, guys?
Yep. I mean, yesterday you said that you want to see Spirit Breaker, the OD, the Ogre, they all came out. Heroes that you don't want to see, like the Meepo and Push, they also got picked. So, do you have any new selections of heroes for us today?
For today, I think Puck might be in, I believe. I don't know. I want to see some Puck. CK is so good. CK and Grimstroke. Have you seen the combo? Oh my god, we got wrecked in lane, man. Wrecked in lane. CK and everybody was rushing. It's freaking. I mean, you guys already know that CK and Grim combo. If they can pick it, can they hear us? Can the teams hear us?
No.
CK and Grim combo, easy win.
If Husky yell, maybe they could.
So apparently Pinda Panda wants to see CK and Grimstroke. So yeah, the message got through. Hopefully.
Okay. I mean, there's one thing I want to see is definitely Major, but we are not getting that, so...
Oh, okay. You told me to not bring it up. Come on.
I mean, But anyways, we have got this man, League of Ancients, the next big thing for you. So if you are fed up about Dota, this is where your venture, the next venture is gonna be a mixture of mobile and can be played on mobile, and obviously there's no upfront cost as well. So that's the one big thing, right? You don't have to spend to start earning.
Major gets cancelled, no problem. I'm still making money in game. I'm still getting my skins out. So that solves a lot of problems.
Hey! Don't forget about the team we're making.
Yes.
League of Ancients team.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
We're like a 2 now. We're like a 2.
We'll give you the honors of thinking of the team names.
The team names.
Yeah.
I already have one, but I'll tell it to you later.
I mean, just don't give the responsibility to me because I'm really bad at names.
No, the League of Bobos. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the best? And nobody has that. We have to grab that.
Yeah, people lower their guard when they see names like these, right? So
that is quite true.
This is how you win games. Like people see the team name, they'll be like, yeah, these guys, they're a bunch of dum-dums. They probably don't know how to play the game. And bam, we come in and then we win the first championship.
Yeah, and not only I come in like a dum-dum, I come in with those skins as well.
Yeah, I come with those skins. You know, like my particles is gonna cover half your screen. And try to beat me with that. I'm gonna crash your phone before the game begins. I'm thinking a bit too far, but it could be a possibility.
Alright, but thinking about that, we have got a draft coming up, and you say you want to see a puck. Instantly, that's a ban here.
It's banned. Okay, they heard us, but I'm glad they banned OD this time. I'm super glad.
I think we're getting a different set of challenges today for sure. I mean, you look at the banners on the Radiant side; it's a different set of challenges. I'm super excited. They banned the Spirit Breaker as well, so we're looking at very competitive bans.
Yeah, if you don't tell me this is like a show match, right? I wouldn't know that. You know, I thought this would be a competitive match because those bans are what are most popular nowadays on competitive match.
It is.
And the first pick, let's see what we are going to see. Are we going to see a Weaver? If we are seeing a Weaver, something like that, we know today is going to be very, very entertaining.
Yeah. What else could be a first pick? There's Weaver. Yesterday we saw like Ogre first pick, I think.
There's a Pudge first pick too, if you want to go that route.
Highly, I mean, if the Raiden picks a Pudge first pick, I mean, it would be interesting. What do you think, Pinda?
Pudge? Oh, Weaver! Good call.
Okay. We are seeing some competitive games here today. Tidehunter opening. We have seen this before too.
Oh.
Yep. It was a Tidehunter Disruptor yesterday, but today we get the Tidehunter Ogre. Something similar, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ogre, we have an Ogre enthusiast here, Pinda.
Yeah.
Do you really want to see this hero on the mid lane? We can hit it a little bit for you.
Ogre mid. It's that hero is, I'm telling you, it's super fantastic as a core. And Ogre mid, it's just gonna do so much. It's gonna do a lot, especially with the scepter and the. I mean, you don't even need the shard, but yeah. Hopefully it's Ogre mid, you guys. Who knows? They will surprise us, right? Can you see the challenger's name, by the way? Like,
no.
I'm trying to figure out.
No, we can't yet. Yeah, we can't just yet. But we have got a Rubik pick here in response
lovely.
to the Tidehunter. So big action could happen today. Those stolen Ravages could definitely change the game.
Yeah, you know that our dev team has a PTSD because they banned the Tinker. They were like, we don't want to see Tinker, right? What if they have a Tinker player? No, we don't want to find out.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think PTSD is really a huge thing, right? Like, you know, we don't feel it, but you know, what if one day we saw Team Out PSG LGD come out and ban Magnus, and you know, that's when you know PTSD is a real thing in Dota 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Brute might have banned too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so both teams are just really eliminating those cheesy heroes in the second phase of the pool. Really don't want to get cheese today.
So yesterday Pinda, you told us some facts about Ogre, right? Ogre at level 10 with the Ignite talent and Max Ignite deals like 1,600 damage in total.
Yeah.
With the multicast, I think like
the
multicast.
Yeah. So any more Ogre fun facts? I feel like you can be the encyclopedia, right? You can be the tooltip, right?
Ogre. He's just I would, it's like Ogre if you're going core mid, then you definitely don't want to get the bottle, but instead you want to rush the Midas as soon as possible because you get level 6 pretty soon, right? I'm not a pro here, guys. I'm just telling you guys how I played, but yeah. It's like this hero, it's just so much, and then when you get that multicast on the Midas, it's like he can instantly build a, you know, when you have that Gunsu as well, early Gunsu and early Scepter. Oh man,
yeah.
This guy.
yeah, this is going to be like the beast to deal with. But before that, Pinda, I gotta cut you off for just a bit because we have the dev
No
team
worries.
on the
Have fun, you
screen.
guys.
This is where we introduce the dev team. So yesterday, oh man, they just cut it off. But from left to right, the one on the left, the guy who raised his hand yesterday, the Punch player, is the product manager. But the guy beside him is actually Beth Harmon. If you remember him, he played OD in Game 1 and Oracle in Game 2. That's the Operation Director, Kenneth. And you have DWO, the off-laner. That's the project lead, Mr. Dwayne Ong.
Who is the gentleman that you guys saw in an interview yesterday?
With 20 years of experience in Dota. And of course, you have the Mighty Cucumber. Everyone remembers the Mighty Cucumber. The content and media manager, Stephanie. And of course, finally, we have Vivian, the assistant project lead. So these guys, they are a tough bunch.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of talents coming out from them, right? Not only they know about Dota, they play very well as well, and then now they are using this experience to venture into something new. And I'm so proud to know that this entire project, the backbone of them is basically make up for all Malaysians.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Really, really proud of them, and those are the pretty faces that you guys are looking at.
These are the guy, the head sitting right in the middle. That's Mr. Dwayne, alright, Jed, the project lead. Again, DWO. Remember the name because this offlaner, he's playing the role of an offlaner in real life. He's leading the team. He is leading the team. He's calling the shots and he's making all the right decisions. When it comes down to all those team fights, we can actually hear the communications yesterday, right? These guys know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're really passionate as well. You can see those tension coming out from them. You can tell by their faces, especially when they are getting a little bit punished by the Tinker,
right?
They was all like, alright guys, what do we do? Let's just get some water in. That's when you feel pressure as players.
Do you do that, Pinda? Like, if you feel stressed out, like if you start losing, like if you are winning a game and you start losing a lead, like the enemy Tinker is getting more and more fed. Like, what is your way to comfort yourself?
Or your teammate.
Or your teammates.
I open up all chat and I start the war, you guys. That's the way. Sometimes when it works. It works like it's worked like 2 by 10 times for me. They get angry and they're like cute because you have to really test it out. Most of the Dota players, they have like very 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 short patience. And then when you type on the keyboard, they're typing too, right? So they mess up, and then we gain the network, and then like we freaking sometimes it happens, you guys. So you gotta like exhaust all the options. So for me, that's the way I comfort myself and my teammates and the enemy team. Well, I can't say much about them.
And that is a skill too as well, right? Because you have to time that well.
Yeah.
You have to time those trash talks when you're making a move on them, so they're too distracted in replying.
Yeah, they're replying.
All of a sudden you come in with a ravage.
Or like suddenly, right, coincidentally, one of their items is on the hotkey, so they just press BKB out of nowhere. Now there's 60 seconds without BKB, for their course, and you can win the next team fight. Right? So that's something I learned over
works
time.
sometimes.
It does.
Alright, this is where, if you look at the draft, right, the challenges, they are coming for those prizes.
They are here to
Queen
win.
of Pain, Razor, these two heroes are what we are seeing every day in the tournaments right now. Just a lot of flexibility, super strong, and I really just hate whenever going to the pub against this Razor. The double BKB timing with the refresh drop was like so hard to deal with.
You just feel so helpless, right, against a Razor once he gets his item. Like he just static links you as a support, and he runs you down. It's pretty. I mean, who like this Razor could still be in the offlane, I assume.
Could still be a carry, could still be an offlane. I mean, there's just a lot of flex, right?
Definitely a core. I think it's definitely a core. Co-op definitely want to go mid.
Yeah, we got a Weaver and the 4. Actually, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, looking at Weaver and Rubik, those are probably the position 4 and 5.
Yeah.
We don't know which one yet. We could. Yeah, I mean, I guess we are gonna see very soon. But what do you think is gonna be a good response here?
They're gonna
more.
All right.
Ooh.
They're bringing out the big boys now. I mean, the anti-mage was banned, right? So I think that's one of the saving grace for Team LOA. At least you kind of open things up for them to pick that Morphling. But I wonder if for the challenges they would still consider putting the Weaver as a flex. Right, Weaver is not like against someone like a Thai Ogre. It's so hard to deal with the Weaver. Could that be a possibility? Do you think?
Yeah, I do definitely think it. But where I like this morphing pick a lot, right? Like you say, it's such a nuisance to deal with this static link razor that is gonna run, and you with BKB, you know what? Morphling have waveform to get out. You know, generally a very tanky hero to deal with, and you always have the Titanhunter as your backup as well to come in with the big Ravage as counter initiation. So I do like our Radiant side's pick here, and we are all down to one last pick from each side now. So what do you think is going to be the pick here that you want to see, Pinda, that really run out those drafts? Or what picks do you think here is going to make the series and the game a lot more entertaining?
Wait, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we hear
of course.
Oh, okay. Because I was like really focusing on the draft, right? I'm thinking, wow, okay, the Ogre and Morphling is gonna work out pretty well. Well, Earthshaker is still in the mix, I believe. I don't know if they want that. Earthshaker hasn't been banned, right? Because it's gonna go great with Morph. Otherwise, Earthshaker can definitely, I think. Wait a second. If this is Ogre mid, then why not, right? I'm just thinking the Quap and Razor, I think it's great. Like, Razor's gonna be rushing as... So for the last pick, you guys, I'm really thinking here for...
I think the question is, where does this profit go? Oh yeah, the CK, I guess that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Pinda has been getting what she wants. Yeah, what she wanted yesterday. So
yeah.
I really want to see if we are gonna get her wish come true this time. I definitely would want to see a CK because it's been so long since I see the hero getting picked by these professional teams. And alright, reserve time is running out, so we need to see this hero.
Wow.
It's gonna be Drow.
Wow. Okay.
One of the better hero against the Morphling for sure.
So it's going to be a Razor off, right? In this regard, it's going to be a Razor off into the Tide. So you get the Drow, a Razor off into a Morphling, excuse me, Drow into Tide. I think that kind of is a decent matchup as well. Tide generally can't really get close to the Drow. She has the Gust if she needs. Wind Ranger is the last pick. So what do you feel about this, Pinda?
I love the Wind Ranger pick, actually. This Wind Ranger is gonna do a lot early game on, especially once it gets its shard. I hate that. I hate a shard. I super duper hate a shard. Every time, like, you think you're ganking, like if it's an enemy team, you think you're ganking and you're in such a good position, the gush comes out and you're like, you're moving back. Like, as in, like, time is taking you back. That's horrible. And it has such a low cooldown too. So I think that's gonna do a lot of difference. Great pick.
Yeah, that reminds me of that one match between OG and Na'Vi where Thompson bought a refresher on Wind Ranger and the double kill force won them the game, if you remember that. That particular series.
Yeah, I do think so. I think that was where the shot was first introduced as well. So no one knows what it actually does.
Yeah.
So that's where it really shows.
Everyone is just like,
what is happening here?
Twice, right?
What is the best way to deal with the shot? Other than not being in the radius?
I guess the best way is just to get out, right? Like it's pretty easy, but obviously you don't want to die because the enemy wouldn't want to let you get out easily. So those BKBs, those 4-staffs are going to be super important for you to get out.
So Peter,
before
we jump into the game, are there any predictions? What do you think is going to be required for our challengers to beat the dev teams with this draft?
I think it's definitely the synergy. Yesterday, the teams they faced, it was definitely a problem of synergy, and I think they were all over the place. But hopefully, challengers today, they have better synergy, they talk properly, they work as a team, and treat this as a tournament like it is. And then, they'll be able to beat them, I think. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and so are we, because the game is ready. Thank you, Pinda, for your input. And
thanks, guys.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy some great Dota, because we are jumping straight in. Game number 1 of this evening. And Arthur, what is your what are the win conditions for these guys?
I mean, for the Furion side, I definitely think they have a lot of late game there. You can always go to late game with Tidehunter, with Morphling. You'll never be afraid of that. And for the other side, Drow versus Morphling, that is going to be the battle today. So you need to give a Drow a good time for her to eventually get to this state where she can maybe the 3-shot Morphling. We have seen that before. It's not something that is special here. So that's the state that she really wants to get into. And now we are figuring out who's going to be on which side. It seems like our Darabels, they are going to be on Dire side. And once again, we have Vivian on the Tidehunter, Beft on the Ring Ranger, Mighty Cucumber on the Augur, and now they run themselves into the Drow and Rubik.
And it's gonna be level 1 Ignite, so both the Rubik and the Drow are running away. They have the Anchor Smash, so the Drow is going to be really low. A good Fate Bolt to reduce that damage. Of course, thanks to the Rubik, the Drow gets out. Though I doubt that there's any more way. Unfortunate that the Tai actually didn't go for the level 1 Gush. That could have been a kill for Team LOA.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of level 1 spells, I'm absolutely glad that Rubik didn't, panically level up the telekinesis at level 1, because that could definitely be a disaster for them. And it seems like this early aggression is not gonna affect too much in terms of the early game bounty run contest. It's still gonna be a 2 for unless
they steal it. Oh, he stole it!
He stole it, alright.
Wow!
That would be a 3 for 1 in favor for Radiant side.
The chat line just perfectly describing what the Weaver did. Just beautiful in that with that Shikuchi still in the boundary room, but still it's gonna be a 2 for 2 distribution. But I wanna ask, like, in terms of the direct matchup between Morphling and Drow, how does this matchup work?
I mean, for the Drow, you are always happy up against agility base hero, because you remove all their base armor with the ultimate. And that is where you really want to get into, right? You want to build into your shard on the Drow, you want to build into your Daedalus and stuff, so you can get like 2 shot, if you're lucky, maybe 2 shot onto the Morphling. That is those state that you want to get into, but that takes a lot of time. So for Radiant side on the Drow, they have to buy time for her, get into those ancient stacks and farm efficiently, so that you eventually get to those states. And Queen of Pain, Razor, they are pretty good heroes to buy those time for the Drow to eventually be big, and they do have what it takes to take early towers too, so that's gonna be very helpful in pushing the tempo. And for our dear developer side, they do have those big team fights to defend those early aggression coming up from Radiant side.
Yesterday what we saw was that the challenges in both games against our dev, they were struggling with lockdowns, right? They don't really have much ways to stop a hero from running at their team. You don't really have reliable stuns. In this case, they have the Gust, they have the Lift, but Lift is probably the only reliable disable that the Radiant team have. So is this going to be a problem in the long run?
Oh yeah, definitely. Once those BKBs are out on the developer sides, it's gonna be a lot easier for them to have this free reign in a team fight, especially the Morphling. And also Tyandra is generally a hero that doesn't really need BKB, but he's so tanky, and when you're lacking of stuns, that's where you are gonna have a lot of trouble, because you have this really beefy watermelon in front of you, and if you don't have those disables to bring him down, he could really cause you a lot of trouble in the mid game. And we are seeing the reconnects coming in very, very soon, so it seems like the game is about to resume. And we haven't talked too much about this Nature's Proper Position 4, right, that we are seeing on the bottom side. I do think this hero is what it needs to really push the tempo for developer team here, because you talk about how Drow really would need some time to come online, and this strong pushing power coming out from the developer teams could really punish those downtimes where Drow would just like to be in the triangle.
Are we going to see a lot of 4v5 scenario where the challengers, they just want to keep trying to hold off this kind of a snowball effect from Team LOA? They do have Wind Ranger who can fight early when she gets the Maelstrom. You have the TIE Hunter who is always ready to press the Ravage. So we can expect them to stick together as a team earlier than our challenges, right? Which I believe it's called Team Engineer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for LA, you talk about how those big team fights are going to be so crucial, right? And it's so important when it comes to pushing as well, because you have this Morphling that is wonderful in pushing tower. Then you get backed up by this Tide Hunter Ravage. It's going to be really hard for our Team Engineer to find an angle to really defend these towers, unless they make a dive with the Weaver and the Razor. But once again, they don't really have those small disables that really need to come in handy to finish off this tier. So executioner wise, engineer need to be a lot careful. And for Team LA, our developer side, I guess games is a little bit easy whenever you have the time on your lane, and also an easy pushing hero like the Furon.
Yeah, and you can see that this time I believe our Nature's Prophet, our project lead, is going to be on the Nature's Prophet this time. So we get Viv on the Tide Hunters. Again, another role swap, right? These guys really flexible in terms of the roles that they can play in the game, and they are continuing to demonstrate that versatility in Dota.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, having this versatility is really great, right? I mean, I think this expands into real life as well. It's all very transferable skills.
Yeah.
Our team developer here plays a ton of Dota. They have a lot of years of experience as well, which is what really give them the ability to also venture into a new game, which eventually become League of Ancients, right? Because this is eventually is inspired by Dota. It's inspired by League of Legends.
Yeah, in fact, I think if you guys did see the ad at the waiting screen, you can see that there's some one of the characters that resembles a Wind Ranger power shot, right? So that is something to look forward to in the third and fourth quarter of the year. But we are finally back in game just in time for us to kind of talk a bit about that mid matchup, Wind Ranger into this Queen of Pain.
I mean, Queen of Pain recently has just been such a trouble for a lot of us like mid players out there, right? Because this hero spams you the Shadow Share, is so hard for you to really sustain on the lane, and after that, once she gets to the level 6, she can easily make a rotation to side lane with the Sonic Wave, and that's where your side lanes really feel a lot more dangerous. So Wind Ranger versus Quap, Wind Ranger, one of the heroes that we don't really see anymore in the mid lane, so I'm really intrigued to see how this hero is going to end up.
It's going to be a gush onto the Rubik, and they do have those right clicks, even the Blightstone from DWO, so there is some damage, but the lift is there. Oh, they bring Vip back straight on top of the Rubik. Bit of a mistake, that's going to be first blood, but can this Drow Ranger at least get a kill in return? He can with the multi-shot, but might give up his life though. There's a lot of armor reduction from the Blightstone and the gush. They even bring the Trent in as DWO really wants the life of this Drow, but he's going to use the gush, push him back, he's tanking the towers, and he might go down. The Fable finishes the job, and the Drow doesn't even go down.
He was so close in bringing down the Drow, and at the meantime, Morphling actually fall in the top lane, so I guess there was some simultaneous aggression coming out across the lanes, and Drow Ranger gives a tip to our project lead. You might not want to do this thing here, because these are very important people in the game.
Yeah, you might want to be careful of who you tip. They might revoke your prize if you win.
I mean, obviously that's not gonna happen, but yeah, you can tell, this game compared to the ones yesterday is a lot more closer, is a lot more competitive.
And of course, you have the Swarm out on hitting on both Ajax and the Mighty Cucumber. Beth very early on, so he's trying to deal with the small camps, and he's actually gonna die, I believe, to the Queen of Pain, which just blinks on top of, well, not the Queen of Pain, in fact I believe is was it the Drow Ranger? Yeah, the Drow Ranger shows up and just kills off the Wind Ranger, so very weird interaction in that small camp.
Yeah.
But I mean, our devs, they've definitely met their match.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Morphling, you are seeing, not really having a good lane, only 9 last hit compared to the 18 of the Drow. Bottom side,
oh boy, DWO is lifted back, and yeah, he's definitely gonna go down. And even the announcer is already announcing that this is an ownage. I mean, the small camp gets blocked, Rubik can't pull it, but he gets a better trade off of that, and that's gonna be the brown boost delivered.
Yeah, I mean, this is a position 5 Rubik that just got a kill on the Wind Ranger, and top lane is not stopping Mighty Cucumber. A lot of trouble here.
Shukuchi to finish the job, and now Ajax is on the run, turning into strength form, so that does have some HP to tank through that. But you look at the last hits, the top 3 are all cores from Team Engineer, so these guys are having a fantastic laning phase. Water Rune for a Cake Kitty as well, so he gets to bottle out the Water Rune. Extra regen, that's what you're looking for on Radiant side.
Yeah, oh my god, you're just blinking in. I mean, this level 3 Shadow Strike is really gonna do a lot of damage.
Oh, here. The Fate Bolt, he might take down, he does have the bottle, so wants to get some extra health back in return. There's no wind run, good shackle shot, just a mini stun though. At least he doesn't take down as the bottle heals him back up just enough.
Yeah, but all in all, it's just really tough. A lot of pressure coming out from the Radiant side already. You can tell that Wind Ranger is really struggling a lot. But looking at the CS, you have 26 to 14 here on the Queen of Pain, and just 13 to 2 on Wind Ranger. I guess this is why we don't really see too much Wind Ranger on the mid lane recently, especially when all these Queen of Pains, Linas are so popular in the meta right now. These are really good heroes against the Wind Ranger on the lane, and it is really showing why Morphling is really getting forced into the jungle. He doesn't really want to lane up against the Razor, that he just gotta spam those static link on top of her, on top of him over and over again. So it's really come down to Mighty Cucumber on on the Augur to really keep this lane on hold.
Yeah, and this is gonna be pretty tough, right? Because now this Morphling doesn't really have the Morbid Mass, so no lifesteal to work with, but it has to play the jungle. The Mighty Cucumber will be the one who soaks up all the experience and go. Meanwhile, bottom lane again, they get the Gush. Of course, a couple of right clicks with their Blightstone and the Trance. They have the Sprout as well, but the Drow Ranger just cuts it with the Quelling Blade. Now turns around with a couple of right clicks on his own, but thankfully it's a TIE Hunter, so he's pretty tanky with even Retaliates with a second Gush. But you can see this Drow Ranger causing a lot of problems with that Frost Arrow slow, and he's gonna be able to walk out of that.
Yeah, there's 3 levels in the Frost Arrow as well. And now she has hit level 6. This is where you really want to be a lot more careful on the TIE Hunter. You don't want to be ever alone up against this Drow Ranger on this lane. And DWO, he has to really do a lot of job to keep this TIE Hunter in check. And also maybe, just maybe, if he could get those body blocks in with the Shrine, they could also take down the Drow easily, but that is definitely not easy to do at all. And it's top lane, or the 3-man rotation. Morphling is actually making a move to this bottom lane. They don't get the Drow though. They try to.
Yeah, he's just gonna cut those trees and really weave around that jungle, and you can see mass TPs coming through. Team Engineer, they're ready to respond, and they will start off with the Weaver Swarm. Ajax will starting to back up, does have the teammate backing him up, but the Sonic Wave will cut right through him, and DWO will be the second one on the chopping block. This Prophet has nowhere to go. 2 kills for the Team Engineer, and they might find more because this time it's gonna be with. They try to throw her onto the cliff, and now she's gonna start the TP. They don't have the damage to finish off this TIE Hunter.
Oh, that is a very calm TP right there. You know, very good calculations from Vivian. And this mid lane, we are still not seeing much coming from Ranger, but because how good, you know, because thanks to the early lead that this Quap has gotten herself, she's able to make those into rotations in the side lanes, which is why Queen of Pain is such a strong hero right now. You dominate lane, and then you use that advantage to dominate side lanes too, and that was a very good usage of the Sonic Wave to really help her team get some advantage on this lane. And almost everyone from Dire side is getting forced into the jungle right now. We're seeing Morphling already abandon the lane a long time ago, so Razor is able to really pick up a lot of farm here, has the Falcon Blade to work with, and that's really gonna scale up his farm.
And that's a tip out of nowhere. The first tier 1 brought down under 8 minutes. In fact, we're 8 minutes in, but Team Engineer has a 5,000 gold lead, a very substantial advantage this early into the game. Of course, you can see that confidence not as high on the side of the dev team. Beth getting gone up with the Shadow Strike and the Swarm. Which DOT do you want to deal with? The answer is none, because Beth will fall once more. This Wind Ranger just hit level 6, but you'll be punished with death for a second time. They want to go onto the Razor. At least the Mighty Cucumber does have that Ignite. The Hood of Defiance is there, so that will mitigate some of the damage. It even has the Fairy Fire, but there's 3 members on the side of Team LOA on top of this Razor. He's surviving for a pretty long time despite those engaged. Now they get the waveform on top of him. Ajax is following up. There is the Bloodlust as well. They sprout him out, and that is finally a kill for Ajax, but it took them so long enough, and the Drow Ranger even got a kill in the bottom lane on this TIE Hunter. Punmo is not going to show up. The kill the Morphling, huge target. That one even goes over to the Drow Ranger. The rest of Team LA, they're gonna scatter. This fight is already over.
I mean, that's what happened when you give the Razor a completely free lane, right? He's gonna use the most money to get into really good items that makes him a little bit hard to kill, and that bought a lot of time for his team to come in as reinforcement, even though you are losing this offlane Razor, but in exchange, you actually got the enemy's Morphling. So I would say that trade is definitely very beneficial for them, and once again, you are seeing the Furon doesn't really have a place in this mid game because he's just gonna get run down just like that, and no TP is gonna cut it.
Yeah, tries to use the teleportation, but in Dota, lightning strikes more than 2 times. And of course, the Elder Storms will zap him into oblivion. Things are getting a bit dicey for Team LOA, and even though only 1 tower has gone down, but you look at the goal advantage, that is a very scary number. 6,000 lead for Team Engineer. The urn just got purchased by DWO, but with this deficit, it feels very unlikely that we are going to see Team LOA making rotations to put that urn into good use. In fact, look at that division from Team Engineer in the jungle of Team LOA. Pumlo is just doing all the work, making sure that this Morphling doesn't have a free time farming out his items.
That's a very exciting name, because I have a friend that just sounds exactly like his name. And bottom side, we've been getting static link here. Can they do anything to this Razor though?
Oh, they have that focus fire. Viv wants to turn back for some extra hit. hits, but now Beth, he cannot even kill the Razor, and he will give up his life. Means the Draw Ranger gets a kill on the Mighty Cucumber as Beth gets electrocuted and brought down by the Razor and Queen of Pain, and all the lanes have effectively collapsed on the side of Team LOA.
Well, today the challenges, they really show up, don't they?
Yeah.
They really did show up. I mean, I guess they are seeing the games yesterday, you know, and they are thinking like, damn, these developers, they definitely know what they are doing here. They are definitely showing case that they have good chemistry between themselves. So let's bring our A game here today. And you can tell by the draft itself, you can tell that these challenges today, they are dead serious.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we saw Team LOA, they played both games having an advantage. This is the first time we see them playing from behind, and they are not really handling it as well as what they did yesterday. And you know, the pressure might be getting to them all too early as Viv just completely gets obliterated by the Sonic Wave. He just blasts through this TIE Hunter. No Kraken Shell will be able to protect him.
Yeah, that was a very big power play as well, you know, just killing the TIE under his tower. There's no rotation as well, as top lane Ajax have to play this out very carefully.
You have to Sprout on this Rubik, across the Rubik. Steals the waveform, gets away, turns around for the Fate Bolt, Pumblo. He will have the Shikuji, good Shackle Shot, but where's the damage though? They need a bit more. The Rubik finally goes down as Beth Armor finally joins the fight with the Focus Fire. That will be the Weaver dead. 2 kills on for the side of Team LOA as Team Engineer finally gets punished in the Dire Jungle.
And now that's a good turnaround coming out from our developed teams. You need to start bringing in some numbers to those team fights. And I speak about that, you know, Razor shows up aggressively once again, trying to force the Morphling out of his jungle. And this is a Razor that is playing alone, so could our team developer get a punishment here on him?
And you can see
Doesn't
that,
seem like it.
yeah, the Morphling just wants to, it doesn't even have the boots yet. So this is the state of this Morphling right now. Just building stat items, getting their Morbic Mass, wanting to farm up, but it looks so hard. I mean, Viv only has an Arcane Boots, but this Queen of Pain is not letting her have any rest. Even attempts a high 5, but Viv not interested in responding. And Kitty
Oh, there's a good jukes though.
finish the job. There you go, the juke. Not gonna work out this time.
Yeah, I mean, nevertheless, that was some really good attempt there. You kind of, you know, it's kind of sad for a time to be left in the island alone, but
Okay, 4 members in top lane. This time they really want this Razor dead. Focus Fire as well. He has a static link, but they will keep him in place. The Mighty Cucumber with the Fire Blast. And Beth finds another kill.
yeah, once again, very good turnaround coming up from developers. It's really crucial for them to be punishing this pretty fat Razor that is playing so aggressively. Doesn't matter if you have to bring 4, sometimes a kill is a kill, and in this case, where they're in so much net worth lead, these kind of kills actually bring back a lot of net worth and also experience, and we are seeing Drow farming very aggressively in the enemy's triangle too. So if they could get some information like that with some wards down, if they could get to this Drow and punish her, that would be a very big victory for our team developers.
And you can see the aggressive posture of Team Engineer taking control of the Dire Triangle. They will find the Mighty Cucumber, and I don't think there's anywhere for her to run away. The Fateful will zap her, and there's another kill on the enemy support. Dire team is in a very tough position with such a huge disadvantage. I mean, this Drow alone has 6 kills under her name.
Yeah, that is not something that you see very often, but thanks to the success, you know, thanks for the success they achieved in this safe lane, this Drow is feeling pretty comfortable right now, sitting at his Falcon Blade, always getting buffed up by the stolen Bloodlust as well, coming up from Rubik. Dragon Lance is gonna help her bring down towers so easily too. I love this aggression coming out from our challengers today. They are definitely showing up to play, definitely showing up to contest those prizes over our developers.
They're making more moves. Bad Farmer takes the Sonic Wave to the face, and that will be Kitty on a Mega Kill streak. Of course, the Mighty Cucumber forced back as well. And that is just one Razor standing between the tier 2 and the tier 3s, forcing Team LOA to back off into their base. So you can see the level of intimidation. And as we say that, the Draw Ranger just picked up the Blink Dagger.
Or something exciting here for the Drow. Not really the item that we see a lot, but those Blink Silence definitely could do a lot of damage. DW. Oh, getting run down by the Quap here. And he won't stand a chance against the Quap. Like,
yeah, that's what we call a fade away. Because the Ajax will have the TP out. With the Strength Form, they, at least the silver lining is that there is not much lockdown. There's no Ravish available for the Tide, at least of now, so no chance of killing this Queen of Pain whatsoever.
Yeah, this is where, you know, at the end of the day, our developers team on the dire side, they still have this big ultimate to come back from. If they manage to get this big Ravage, they could do something here. Oh, the blink.
Wow, just blink to the low ground with the Gust, making sure that no one from the side of Team LOA can even get a chance of catching this Drow. They really don't want to give away the stacks, and a good attempt from a hot hit gamer with the lift, but no cliffing on the side of Team LOA.
Yeah, we're still yet to see this power of the Blink Dagger and Drow Ranger, but I do believe that Thompson, you know, he has been playing a lot of Drow on the mid lane, and this is always his go-to item. It's really good to help you farm from camp to camp, really good to help Drow Ranger get out of dangerous situations too, but most importantly, those Blink Silence could definitely hurt Morphling. He's not buying Manta Style, he's not buying BKB, Ghost Scepter, I believe is not available yet, so if the Morphling get caught by this Blink Silence, he could very much be solo killed by the Drow, so I guess that's the play that our Drow is looking for here.
And for Team LOA, right, what do they need to do? Well, before we get to that, that's the first Blink Gust. Good Shackle shot. There is the Maelstrom picked up by Beth Armor, and also buffed up by the Bloodlust. They need a bit more damage. The TP gets cancelled by the Drow, and he's gonna go down. They also find the Weaver as well. That's exactly what you want to see for Team LOA. You can see that there's the pick pole used by Hot Hit Gamer. He wants to get away, but they have the Sprout into a Shackle. A 5-man gank from Team LOA. At the cost of a buyback, they do find 3 kills, and they reclaim this outpost in their own jungle.
Very good turnaround by our developer team. You know, those synergy coming up from Furon and the Green Ranger is also showcasing, right? You know, you get the Sprout into the Shackle, and now Kitty, he wants to challenge our developers a little bit, but you have to know that this is you against 3 of the dire side. So she plays it carefully, which is smart, but those arcane runes are really baiting her to be aggressive here.
So what does Team LOA needs to do to kind of come back into the game? Obviously, other than, you know, manning up when they have those skills and getting those pickoffs, are there any ways for them to kind of delay the game? Because we are looking at a 8k goal lead for Team Engineer.
Yeah, however, before those BKBs from Team Engineer kicks in, you still can rely on your big Ravage, right? Your Ravage into those chain stuns from Green Ranger and Augur. That fight at the top side already proved to us that, you know, our team developers here still have the juices, still have those gas in their tank to really fight against our engineer despite those 8k goal lead. So I want to see them putting numbers into strength and starting to get some fight against Team Engineer as 5, because I don't think we have seen much 5-man team fight so far except for the one at the top lane. So I think that's going to be a big incentive for team developers here to really group up and take a fight together.
Yeah, and they definitely should, but I feel like they might not be able to make it in time. They were spending some extra time in their own triangle, just letting the Morphing farm out, and that will allow Team Engineers to easily sneak this Roshan away with the help of the Swarm and that overwhelming damage from all the cores. There's no chance for Team LOA to even get close, and that could have been a chance for them to really start that 5v5 and really test out the waters. But now with the Aegis going over to the Drow, Team LOA, they will have to kind of sit back a bit and play that high ground with this TIE Hunter taken into consideration. And of course, Team Engineer, they want to start this fight and taking it really slow. Bottom lane, they already found DWO who will TP out immediately. The Gust is not enough. And of course, DWO will get out with his life, but maybe not the Mighty Cucumber though, as this Queen of Pain is really just dancing around this Ogre. Sonic Wave from afar. The Shadow Strike will be sufficient as Kate Kitty is wicked sick.
Yeah, I mean, this Roshan attempt is really smart from our Team Engineer here. They know that they have this huge advantage they are holding right now. One of the best way to protect it is just, you know, have another life on your core and top lane DWO. This is what, like the 3rd time Katie is looking for him. So Katie definitely know who he's messing with here.
Oh, and speaking about that, the Razor just runs into the triangle, finds the TIE Hunter, Ajax, he's all alone. He does have the ultimate to turn into the Weaver, so he's going for the Shikuchi. He's looking for Hot Hate Gamer, who does have the Storm on him, so at least that's going to be a Ruby kill. Good waveform from Ajax. He wants to at least try and get away, but you have the Drow following up with the Blink Gust. Now he is completely trapped. uses the Ghost Scepter to negate some of the damage, turns into the straight form, pushes the Weaver back with the Adaptive Strike. The stun will only keep him sealed for just a bit longer, but the damage is still going to rain through. One more gust should be able to do the job, and Ajax will finally fall.
Yeah, it's just really tough. He didn't have the TP right there. Otherwise, a simple Ghost Scepter TP would really save his life there. That was unfortunate because he needed those kills to get in, right? He tried to kill the enemy hero in 4 when there's 4 other heroes in front of him. So that was some very good individualistic play, but at the end of the day, he just really didn't have those reinforcements coming out from his team to help him get out of those situations. So we need more of that kind of plays coming out from Morphling, but it's just really hard.
Oh boy, Viv just getting gone on. Can't even get close to the Drow Ranger. TP finally comes in, and that's going to be the Ravage. Now they need a bit of a follow-up. Power Shot comes through. There is the Ghost Scepter on the side of this Drow Ranger, but they will shackle him out. That's going to be the first Aegis down. Team LOA will have a good chance of at least trying to turn this fight around. The Drow Ranger comes back to life, blinks backwards, gusts and kills off the Wind Ranger. DWO also in a horrible spot with the Storm on top of him. The Mighty Cucumber burns to the Spirit Vessel as Ajax, he just came back to life, but his team has already expired. There's nothing left for Team LOA in this fight, and they will lose 3 of their members.
The synergy of our team engineer draft is so strong right here. You can see by those spread damage coming out from Plasma Field, the Sonic Wave, and also the Multi Arrow coming out from Drow. There's just a lot of AoE damage that you need to deal with, but you don't really have those 4 stuff. You don't really have those Ghost Scepter to deal with that. And the Weaver coming in with those Swamp is really giving a lot of vision for all these heroes to pick their targets too. So for our team developer sides, they need to start really playing around, because they kind of TP in one by one and really didn't have those chain stuns going into the team fight. That's why they're struggling a little bit here.
And they did found Ajax once more, but he does turn into the Queen of Pain, has both Blink and Waveform, so he should be able to get out. Plasma Field, the Swarm, he's gonna blink away straight into a lift, doesn't even have time to turn into the Strength form. So this time again, picking up our dear Morphling. That will be the top tier 2 going the way of Team Engineer. 16k goalie, 22 minutes in. Team Engineer, they're ready for high ground.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason for you to not go, right? You are still holding the Aegis. Oh no, the Aegis is down, but there's an EB completed on the Drow today, right now. And now they're just gonna make use of this really long attack range to siege down the tower. I do believe they have the Stolen Bloodlust as well, so that is helping a lot. Gloatus Orb on Razors, keeping him alive, and they are just gonna siege so carefully, not really giving any chances for our team developer to really, capitalize on.
Oh, and this TIE Hunter, not the beefy TIE Hunter that we know. Dead once more for 30 seconds, but does not have the Ravage regardless. Even Team Engineer, they use the glyph just to make sure that they get this tier 3 down, and now Razor runs straight in, another Blink Gust. There is the Ghost Scepter, but they will still zap this Morphing into oblivion. Now Ajax forced to buy back, but you have Eye of the Storm to kill off Beth. The Razor is so low, but does have the Hood of Defiance that even keeps himself alive through all of that chaos. DWO and Ajax now turn their attention onto the Ruby, who has the Stolen Wind Run, so all those attacks are going to miss. They will gust up this Morphing once more. That's a dieback for 70 seconds. Ajax is no more, and that is GG. Team Engineer forces the tap out from Team LOA, and someone has finally drawn blood from our game devs.
Yeah, that is a really strong showing, and asserting some dominance here. Trust me, I'm Engineer. They say that's the team name, and I'm really trusting the ability today to take some games off our developers. And you know what? It's just such a strong draft from them. It looks like they are really, a lot more prepared than our developers today. And in Game 2, I do believe if our developers want to come back into this series, could get those prizes into their own hand, they really need to do some big adjustment in terms of the draft, in terms of their mentality, and also, most importantly, the preparation going into the game.
Yeah, we wanted to see a team bring the challenge to our game devs and making sure that they keep the game devs in check, but and we got just that. We got exactly what we wished for, and this is what we want to see. Trust me, I'm Engineer, and of course in them we trust. We saw how they perform in Game 1, and we are able to really gauge where they stand right now. Do you think that it is hard for our dev to kind of return and come back strong in game 2 after that game?
I mean, for sure, our dev, they do have what it takes to close games. We have seen that yesterday, right? They closed 2 games very convincingly. I just think that they need to have those groove again. Yesterday they looked super excited to play, but after winning 2-0 yesterday, they look a little bit, maybe you don't want to get ahead of yourself. Sometimes it's Dota 2, right? Every challenger, they are only getting better and better. That's why you have these 3 days of non-stop challenge for all our challengers to come up for a chance to get those prizes back home. So those prizes are huge today, by the way. You got battle capsules for each of those winners. So our developers, you gotta pick up your game.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, at the same time, we are hearing like a lot of chatters from the dev side. They are really starting to talk about it, guys. I think, today it's going to be a bit harder than yesterday. What can we do, and what can they do in game 2? Do you think that there's a big discrepancy in terms of drafting, or is it just Team Engineer playing a better early game?
I feel like our dev teams, they are not used to the high intensity coming up from the enemy team on the early stage, right? Because if you look at the kill score right now, it's 7-1 at 6 minutes and a half. These our challenges today are really bring a lot of threat in terms of early laning phases, and this is something that our developers are not so used to, because in yesterday's game, early game was rather quiet, so they are able to just slowly and surely get to their item timing and make moves around that. But in this game, our challengers say no, the game starts at 0 minutes, the game starts at the power rune, the game starts at the level 6 timing, and this is where our developer team really need to adjust themselves a little bit.
And this will be the highlight reel. I think at one point we were 8 minutes in and Team Engineer has like a 6k gold lead. So I mean, it's definitely a huge number, right, when you're this early in and you have such an advantage. But is there a way to kind of negate that deficit? Obviously we saw Team LOA, they were able to come back in certain fights, they were able to group up together and actually bag themselves a couple of kills, but it always feels like it was not enough. They needed to do more.
Yeah, I feel like those reinforcements or the counter TPs need to come in a little bit earlier, because we have seen so many times Queen of Pain just getting these solo kills on the Tidehunter, on the Morphling. Queen of Pain is always looking to get some action scenes by herself. So if they are able to respond and come in for the TP a bit early, things could change a lot, and we might be seeing a closer game in the mid game if they manage to punish the Queen of Pain, if they manage to punish the Drow too. They did so on the Razor, though. It's just that there's always the Drow and the Corp that are having a fantastic game to kind of come onto this game and really make sure that they are able to come together, especially after taking the Roche, right? Because with these Aegis, look at how aggressive the Drow is playing, and the TPs are just not there when the Ravage is on.
Yeah, and do you feel like if our dev team knew that Roshan was going on and they went for the contest with that Ravage ready, maybe they would have had a better chance of turning this game around?
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can just look at those spread damage coming out from the Radiant side. There's just so much, especially everyone is having those vision coming out from the Swamp. And that game is just so easy whenever you have vision, right? And when you have item advantage too, everything just lines up properly for you.
Yeah, so no lockdown, no problem. They only have to live, but it felt like, if we can kill them fast enough, we don't need to even keep them in place. I think that's the model for Team Engineer. But knowing that they are engineers, perhaps for Game 2 we will see them come up with another infrastructure for that draft. So hopefully that's going to be the case. But what do you feel like we should be seeing from our dev team instead for Game 2? What is the few things that they can kind of quickly polish up before we jump into the second game?
I think the first thing is definitely, making more moves in the early game. Because in yesterday games, those early games were very static, were very slow. Today, I feel like our dev teams, they are kind of doing the same thing as well. That's why they are getting punished so hard by the early aggressions coming out from our challengers, right? So this is something that our dev team definitely need to talk about.
Yep, and of course they will have that time to discuss and plan for game number 2, because as a dev team you don't really want to go down without putting up a huge fight. And as for us, we will also be calling for a short break and just to get ourselves aligned for game number 2. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back for game 2 of the EPIC LOA battle. Welcome back to the EPIC LOA Battle Day number 2. Again, our development team, they decided to go up against 5 challengers, and today we have Team Engineers, or Team Trust Me, Engineers, who took a super convincing Game 1 against our dev team. I'm Husky, here's Arthur, and we are here to bring you guys the rest of the action because this best of 3 has just begun with our development teams finally being put on the back foot. Yesterday they had a great showing, but today it feels like they need a bit of a push, and I think Team Engineer gave them that push.
Yeah, I'm sure they need some sort of wake-up call as well. I think that's often good than bad. You know, that kind of push is always going to be able to push you to your limits a little bit, and we did hear them a little bit right just now. They said they didn't have their dinner yet. Now they did, so
it's the dinner buff.
Dinner buff is going to kick in. I believe that our developers, they are going to do a lot better than the first game. At least those energies are going to be there.
Yeah, before you feed your heroes, you gotta feed yourself, and that is the motto for Dota 2. So definitely looking forward to Game 2. But of course, we do always need some extra input from our expert, our ogre connoisseur, our tinker hater, and of course our techies lover. We're gonna bring in Pinda Panda back onto the desk once more because I have a lot of questions for her, and I want to know what she thinks about the upcoming game. So welcome back, Pinda. How was Game 1?
Oh, unfortunately, it seems like we are having a global silence here. Oh,
there you go. Yeah, I can hear you now. Awesome.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That was a super cool intro. Yeah. The extra input that you don't need, but you're gonna get anyway. And yeah, I was watching the entire game and so much aggression from Team Engineer. Holy cow. Wow. They were just all over the place. That Rubik and Quap, they're doing so much. You know, they're just like they're not giving them any room to breathe, which is like this is what you see in most tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
do you agree with the notion that before you feed your heroes in game, you gotta fill up your belly? Like, does that make you play better in game, or do you think it's just a myth?
No, I think you definitely play better when you're on a full belly, for sure. Otherwise, you know, you're always angry and you get more angry and you throw the game. It's simple math. Like,
Yeah.
really, it just doesn't. I can't play well when I'm on an empty stomach. I get angry. I get agitated super easily and then, you know, start becoming a keyboard warrior. But, yeah, eat up and then that's when you can actually think. Because you're happy, right? Happy tummy, happy mind. Don't you believe that? I
Yeah,
believe
for
that.
sure. I mean, our developers, they definitely believe that as well, right? You are seeing them, you know, during the break, they're just quickly getting some bites in. You know, they definitely know that those energies are what really make those differences between two teams. Like you say, Pinda, there's just a lot of early aggression coming out from our challengers today, and it just didn't feel like our developers are ready for that.
Yeah, do you
I
think,
agree.
Yeah, and of course, off of the draft, we talked a bit about how the Team Engineers didn't have much control. They only have a Rubik lift. It didn't matter at the end of the day. But going into game number 2, we definitely can expect some changes in terms of draft, right? And as for you, what are the changes that you think we are going to see?
Well, first of all, I definitely trust that they're engineers for sure. They definitely know how to get stuff done like quickly. I believe, you know, game 2 for the dev team did have to come up with something to tackle aggression because you can see they're super aggressive even with the lineups. I'm pretty sure the engineers are going to go for another aggressive lineup. They just want to get done with the game as soon as possible. They don't want they don't want their course to farm out, right? And yeah, you gotta. I think, and dev team, they were just taking it easy. You were right, Husky. Both, like even you, Arthur. I think they're just taking it easy. They're like, you know, it's first game. We'll just see how it goes and like just study them a bit. But game 2, maybe we'll see a game 3 even, and then it's got. I think this like today's matches are definitely like you can see the synergies there, and it's just on a different level compared to yesterday.
Yeah. So the meta right now is more towards aggressive, right? Like people just want to fight. If you fight and you win, you get the advantage. You just it just becomes a cycle that repeats itself, and you eventually win the game. But what is the one way, or what is the most effective way to counter a team that just wants to fight you all the time?
I mean, just be prepared, right? Like a lot of time we are seeing the Queen of Pain from engineer side just jumping in for all those solo kills. And I think if you manage to punish her a couple of times, actually things would look a lot different, you know, because when she has a good game, she feeds, you are gonna get a lot more kills than normally you do so.
Yeah.
So I think those counter TBs needs to come in a little bit faster. I think someone could be a bait to just bait in those Queen of Pain to come in to kill you and then instantly turn on them. I think this kind of communication could really help our developer here today.
Also, the lineup, right? I think it was a bad matchup between Quap and Wind Ranger. I definitely thought Wind Ranger was going to be a support, but like I don't believe that Wind Ranger. You can play Wind Ranger as a 3, but I don't know. And Quap, it's in the meta right now. The Blink CD is incredibly. It's just she's all over the place. There's no way to like absolutely lock her down unless you have a hero like Shaman and all that. Ogre is way too far away. By the time his team backups come, like in Rubik is also there with her. You saw right how Rubik and Quap were all over the place. After some time, Draw was having so much space. He's like, yeah, I don't want to farm. Let me just join on the fight. Yeah, let's just be waffling down and all these others. So the lineup is also another thing. They gotta be like, they gotta make sure their lineup does tackle something like an aggression lineup that comes from Team Engineer for sure. So that's why they should have gone for CK instead.
Or they could easily put Ogre on mid too.
Yeah, Ogre
that is
mid.
gonna solve a lot of those problems.
Speaking of that, right? Do you agree, Pinda, that one of the ways to deal with a team that just wants to run at you and kill you is to play techies? Set up some traps.
Oh,
that is true.
Yeah. That's like a 50-50 for me because techies it can go really well during late game. Like it's good. It's like once he has the axe, like you can put in bombs everywhere and it's easy, right? Unless they have the gem. But like the 4 heroes, they do needs to be sure that these 4 heroes also need to be super like they need to be all over the place because they're fighting 4 versus 5, right? And techies has to do a lot too, so they do need to give the techies a lot of space. But on the plus side, the enemy team, they'll be drained of sentry wards. The supports are gonna suffer so much. I hate that. They need dust, they need sentries, and it's just like hard to deal with techies in the mid game, in the early game and late game if he has all those like items that he needs, like all those early and I mean, if they pick techies, please pick techies. That would be interesting to see. Might be a good defense as well.
You can tell that Pinda is really getting so excited because once you raised the word techies,
right,
Pinda is like, oh, this is what I really want to see. And you can tell that she could go on and on and on about this hero.
Yeah, there's something about techies just gets Pinda excited. But, for everyone has something that gets that gets us excited, right? But I think there is something for the viewers out there that can get them excited, and it's actually the giveaway. So Pinda, I would love to let you do the honors. What are the guys are going to get if they join this giveaway?
Well, the link is, like I said, the link is in the comment section. You just have to click it. It's simple. It's through Gleam. The steps are very simple, and yeah, you get to win not 5 but 10 skins. It's all there. It doesn't matter what skill you are. It's an investment plus, and it's some money you can make as a gamer, just as a gamer. You don't have to be a pro, you don't have to be a noob, anything is just fine. And these skins are tradable, you can sell it, or you can keep it for another time. It's up to you, depending on, what you want and what you like. So there's so much going on in here. It's actually amazing. It's a lot of information, but they do have it in the description as well, and they have it in the Gleam as well. Obviously, you follow the page to have more information about that, and you get to win skins.
Yeah, and this
click on it.
And these skins, they all come in different rarity levels as well,
Yeah.
right? Because if you have those alpha, beta, you get those immortal skins, for example. That's all you need to know. Immortal skin, number 1 in the ranking. Yep,
Yeah.
that's all you need to aim for.
Exactly, just like a rank in Dota, right? Immortal is where you want to be. But if you feel like you want to amp up your chance to win something, you don't just want to be a part of the giveaway. You want to be a part of some sort of contest. We do have the stake to win contest. It's actually going on right now until the 23rd of January this year. So all you gotta do is to join. The best thing is it's open to the public. You don't even need to be whitelisted. Just make sure that you stake at least 1 LA token, and you can be a part of this. And of course, if you are those who stake the most will actually get to walk away with some cool prizes. Let's say if you are ranked number 1, you get to walk away with the Immortal skin. If you are ranked 2 to 15, it's a Genesis capsule. If you are the 16th to 40th, Alpha Capsule, and 40 first to 100, you get the Beta Capsule, and there's 20,000 LOA tokens to give away. And on top of that, 1,000 wallets will be randomly selected from all stake to win participants, and the token price will be airdropped to their respective wallets, and each winner will win 20 LOA tokens. There's just so much to unpack.
Yeah, I mean, well, you guys get all, you guys are saying all the prizes that you can get from our events, and now let's tune into the game 2 of our challenges.
We actually see the techies back.
Developers, and yeah, I guess we,
what was this?
they heard us.
Guys, can they actually hear us? Can they legit actually hear
No,
us?
I
They
don't think the
can't, yeah.
engineers. I don't think the engineers can hear us, but
But they definitely know what are we hoping for today. We want some entertainment.
someone must be watching the broadcast, right? He's like, alright, these guys are talking about techies. I think we should ban techies.
Oh man, the Razor again. Come on, these guys, they are lame, but you can tell that they really want to win here.
It's pretty frustrating, right,
okay.
Pinda? Like you play against you play against like someone. Let's say you play in a competition. They keep picking the same hero. At one point, you'll be like, yeah, these guys are really cringe. Like, these guys have lies. Why do they keep picking all these brain dead heroes? They just press one button, you dies.
Well, you know why? Because they really want to win this.
Yeah.
They really well. We've seen this at all the major NTI tournaments. If the hero works out in the first game, they want to definitely want to carry on that second game as well because they have the rhythm, right? They want to maintain that rhythm. So I think it's a great pick. Like Razor as a carry, as both as an off. Like he was doing so much. He was actually he was playing off and carry for the team at the same time. You can see that he was getting kills on kills, even nailing that muffling down was a huge So I think it's Razor is pretty. It's like a neutral pick. Like it wouldn't go bad, but it could go great too.
Yeah, speaking of picking good heroes, right? We have seen the comfortable picks coming out from our developer side, going once again for Disruptor plus Titan, something that they have been finding success with. So I'm glad to see this adjustment.
Yeah, and we saw the Monkey King picked up by Team Engineer as well, and this kind of raises a question in my mind because the Monkey King was picked alongside the Razor, right? And then now we see the TIE Hunter getting picked by the Dev Team right after that. Obviously, Monkey King can be a flex pick, but in the event this Monkey King ends up being that post 1, he's going to be laying against that TIE Hunter, and I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's just gonna be rough for a Titan, right? But if you're able to find a position 5 that go well with the Tide, use those armor reduction spells together, I think it could be a good option to bring down this aggression of the Monkey King. For example, something like a Snapfire. For example, something like a Weaver is already banned, but Snapfire could be a very potent combo that our developer could go for here.
What do you think, Peter?
I don't typically particularly like the Tide pick because for them because from the last game you saw, right, the fights were not connecting. Like Ravage was on and everybody was all over the place and it was just not connecting right. So I definitely think they could have picked something better for that. But like the Tide this time, I hope it goes more on the damage side other than like tankier side. Because they definitely need to focus on that. Because Tanky did not do them any good last game. So you've seen different kinds of Tide, right? I've got wrecked by Tides too in the third lane, like literally only by physical damage and Gush. It's so much, and you have the armor reduction. So I hope he picks on like the skills wise. I hope he goes over the damage instead of the tankier one, so that he's able to do more during the fights. Like the last game he was just like Ravage and done. So it's just not effective.
Kind of like a Solar Crest and an Aghanim's Tide, right? That just runs into you and kills you with armor reduction. Oh, we see the Drow ban. Really a big respect ban from Team LOA. They saw how well the Drow was into the Tide. But I feel like without the Drow, they already have a problem on their hands, right? In this form of the Monkey King. TA ban, Phoenix and Puck also out of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, engineers are just removing a lot of team fights that go well together with the TIE Hunter here because they respect the fact that Ravage plus the Static Storm is always gonna be a very potent combo that can lead you back into the game no matter how behind you are until those BKBs come out. So there's gonna be like 20 minutes of timing that you can make something happen with. So I love this respect coming up from engineer. But what do you think could be the game changer here though, Pinda? What is the one hero that you really want to see for our developers here? Is the CK something you're still looking forward to?
Oh, for sure, but CK could still go well as core here, I'm thinking, but I don't think they're gonna go for that for sure. They definitely want something that can like deal with handle this Monkey King and the Razor. at the same time, and they want a hero. I mean, now I think they're gonna go for a hero that's able to do a lot by mid game. Not just late game. Because Morphling was having so much like a tough time like farming last game too, and he couldn't do much anyway. So I'm thinking Terrorblade. I don't know, man. Because the metamorphosis and all, I feel like he could do a lot early game for Team LOA, and I don't know. I'm just going on my guts here.
I think you knew the point, having those late game hero in the game 1 was really what dragged our developer team down, right? Because they are running such a big risk of getting run over by our engineers here because they are really so aggressive in the early game. So I think having this adjustment where you put your emphasis on those mid-game heroes that you can fight with in the mid-game is really going to help a lot in defending yourself against aggression.
Yeah, I think heroes that can kind of deal with this Razor when it's static link, right? Heroes with mobility. In game 1, it was the Morphling. Do you think that heroes like the Void Spirit or the Ember Spirit, these all could also contribute?
Yeah, the Spirit heroes definitely could do a lot, coming into this game to hold the game down to really set those tempo up for their team. Hoodwink is something that we don't really see too often recently, but still definitely a very good hero to pair with the Razor. It's always going to be hard to be playing into a static link and then get bushwhacked, stick to the trees, a lot of slows coming out from Plasma Field and Archon Shot from Hoodwink as well. Just a very annoying combo to deal with in the lane.
I like how you call it Archon Shot. It's like the low rank skill. Acorn Shot.
Acorn Shot, alright, thank you.
But it sounds nice, right? If next time if I see my Hoodwink or like the enemy Hoodwink miss the Acorn Shot, I'll be like, yeah, that's an Archon Shot right there. That's an Archon Shot right there. You have revolutionized trash talk when it comes to Hoodwink. Loving it.
I'm actually thinking so hard here. Would they go for Void Spirit? It's still in the pool.
I guess Faceless Void could also be a consideration, right?
Well, Faceless Void, are you thinking of those wombo combos here, like Chronosphere plus Gravage into the Static Storm?
Yeah, I suppose that's one of the ways to deal with a team that wants to run at you constantly, right? They run into your big spells, then there's always the threat of that, but I guess the Shadow Shaman solves that problem as well. You have a definitive lockdown, you can push towers, you are strong in lane, you can hold off a dead lane if you want. I think in the support matchup, this Shadow Shaman can really kind of beat into this Monkey King and Hoodwink if the Monkey King is the support.
Yeah, I think this is what Panda suggested as well, right? Panda was saying like this Queen of Pain in the third game 1 needs to have some kind of lockdown, and Shaman could be a very good lockdown for very elusive and squishy hero like that. So I'm liking that they are taking in some of the Panda's advices here.
With the Medusa, right? A hero that can play that mid game. Once he gets like the Dragonless Manta. So is this the hero that you were looking for, Pinda?
No, I think Medusa is definitely safe, but I'm gonna tell I don't like the Medusa pick here. Ooh. It's a very they're looking for they picked a Phantom Lancer too. Now that's gonna be an issue. That's gonna be a huge issue. So both the teams are looking for late game. But
tough for the supports, right? With the Phantom Lancer illusions. I mean, this Shadow Shaman is going to have a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, even though Disruptor with the Static Storm could have a very good win, locking down the PL in the Static Storm, but still in the mid game, when she starts sending you all these illusions, you have no way to deal with them. Shaman as well, absolutely no way. The only saving grace here is that Tidehunter could still be good against the PL in the lane, so that is one attack point that you can look forward to.
Maybe do you want to really look more into the Aghanim Scepter, Solar Crest for the Tide, just so you could deal with all these illusions?
I feel like again Aghanims could be pretty good. Those AoE gush, it's pretty synergized pretty well with Medusa too. You have this AoE damage that you can dish out a lot of physical damage, but you need a lot of time for that. That's the thing that we are lacking for the developers here.
I believe Team LOA, for now, I think they should not give the engineers any space to farm, especially this. You see the lineup, right? Engineers lineup. They have this PL. He's gonna get so much space. So basically, Razor, Monkey, Hoodwink, and the fifth hero they're just gonna be all of the map. That's their plan, to give this PL as much space as possible. But I'm having doubts about this Medusa versus PL late game.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be pretty tough. We get both Lina, Last Strike Band, the Void Spirit that we kind of discussed a bit also got taken out by the engineers. The Ember Spirit banned by the devs, so the only spirit left that has that mobility is probably the Storm. But even then, the Storm would take some time to come online. So maybe the Shadow Fiend compensates for that, right, in the mid lane.
Alright, so there is a lot of armor reduction here coming out from the side of our developers, from the SF and for the Tide, and teamfight is strong as well, right? Like you talk about how one of the ways to defend aggressiveness is that you have these big AoE spells, and they definitely have that Stone Gaze, Requiem of Soul, and Ravage is very hard to fight into. It's just that they are a little bit greedy with this draft, and the Storm Spirit that you are talking about, you were suggesting it for the developer side, but our engineers are picking it up here. Definitely one of the better heroes when you get those items in, especially the Orchid. A very good way to shut down the two supports off from the developer sides.
Yeah, because we were resonating off of Pinda's point, right? She said that you need someone that can be active on the map, and Storm definitely top Shadow Fiend in terms of that. So hence I was thinking of the Storm Spirit for the developers, but now it goes on to the team engineer. I'm getting super worried, not just for the supports on the side of Team LOA, but also for the Shadow Fiend to a certain extent.
Yeah, what do you think about this, Pinda? Would you like a little bit more in terms of draft? You talk about how you don't like the Medusa, but what about this SF pick?
I knew SF versus Storm, like as he said, like there's no way. I think Storm just beats SF. Like SF could be SF. You talked about the armor reduction. I agree on that point, but like mobility wise, both the teams, they want to clash. You can see they want to give their cores a lot of space and they want to clash each other. So I think they picked like decent heroes, but I'm gonna go like I prefer engineers lineup here. Monkey gives that vision. You have the Razor with that incredible movement speed. Hoodwink is in the trees. He's doing a lot moving around this Storm. If he's like the co-op last game, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a huge problem for the dev team.
Yeah, that I think that kind of wraps up the point, right? I mean, Pinda already summarized what the engineers could do to Team LOA. So let's turn our attention to game number 2. Let's take a last look at our developers, because these guys, they've definitely been given a beating in game 1, and they're looking pretty pumped up. They're looking pretty serious. You can see that the grit on their face. They are here to push us to a game 3, but will they earn that game 3? It is time to find out. Let's hop into game number 2. Team LOA against Team Trust Me, Engineers.
Yeah, this is not gonna be easy at all for our developer teams. You have to go up against a very aggressive Razor that have shown to be a lot of bring a lot of pressure and threat towards our developer in game 1, especially on the off lane, and now he's paired with the Hoodwink, which is going to be pretty hard lane to go up to, and it seems like there's going to be a remake of lobby, so you guys are stuck with us a little bit more here. And I mean, SF versus Storm. Early game is gonna be pretty SF dominated, but when it comes to the mid game, like Pinda said, a lot of mobility coming out of Storm is so hard for SF. Without those hacks, without those U-Scepter, you are not gonna be able to catch the Storm at all.
Yeah, and even in terms of mobility, it feels like this Storm could be anywhere, whenever he wants. But for the SF, he kind of needs to TP in. He needs to, travel a bit more. It takes more effort, but sure, you guys might think, you guys are stuck with us, but guess what? That means more time for you guys to join the giveaway. So click on the link in the description below and join this giveaway, because if you win something, that thing is going to be 10 beta capsules for LOA. And if you're wondering, this LOA this, LOA that, what is League of Ancients? Now think of it as Defense of the Ancients and League of Legends. These two games inspire League of Ancients. Of course, it is going to be in alpha testing in quarter 3, and will be officially released in quarter 4 this year. The marriage between two of the biggest MOBAs in the history of gaming, and also it is an NFT based MOBA game, free to play, play to earn. Join right now. There's a lot waiting for you.
Yeah, and if you have been looking for to when is the League has already made a venture into mobile, right?
Yeah.
Dota haven't yet, but this is actually going to kind of be the replacement. You will be able to enjoy what you are getting from Dota. Like you say, it's inspired by Dota and League of Legends. It's gonna be on mobile NFT. Something that we have not really seen at all. They are gonna be the first, and there's just a lot of prizes for you to win right now. Like you said, beta is gonna come out at the quarter 3 of this year. A lot of time for you guys to get ready with your bullets, and this is where you start earning your bullets.
Yeah, and then the best part is that for those who don't really understand much about the cryptocurrency and the non-fungible tokens, NFT, and also the blockchain, you might think that, so what's the difference between playing Dota or playing any other game on the PC platform that is non-blockchain related and playing this? So let me tell you this. Let's say you have an immortal item, right? TI, golden mace for the Faceless Void, and you want to sell it on market. But guess what? You got trade ban. Now you can't sell the hammer. It's bound to you for the rest of your life, and that's a lot of money sitting in your inventory that you can't cash out. But what if I tell you, if you play League of Legends, you have the same hammer, and it is bounded to you by your name, owned by you completely, not by the game developers, and you can sell it whenever you like, when the value is right. This is what the blockchain enables you to do. So this is why, if you are interested, at least give it a try. Be a part of this community, because you don't have to reach TI level to start earning. This is where you can begin. Even from the get-go, there is always a room for all of you guys.
Yeah, and there's a saying in Dota, right? Like all these, we play Dota aspiring to be a pro sometimes,
Yeah.
And this is so beautiful that our developers, they believe that all these gamers, we share the same level of passion.
Yeah.
We love the game. We spend enough time and effort. We should be rewarded. And this is why this is play to earn, and there is no upfront needed as well. So you don't need to have a big chunk of money to come into this game. It's totally free for you, and there's so much prize for you to come in to this game to really, reward you for staying together with us in the early stage. So why not click on the link and find out if you are the lucky one today?
I mean, most of the numbers that we get rewarded in game by playing well is the MMR, right? Our ratings go up, but now we have a different kind of number to look at, which is the income. But and it also allows us to justify that playing games can earn money, right? Now, if you have that dream no longer. This is it. Tell everyone around you that playing games is the way to go. I'm not advocating for excessive gaming, but I'm just letting you know that there's an avenue for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, we are always looking for another opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to know more about LA, it's basically a 5 versus 5 PvP team battle where 10 players in the team will break into 2 parts, and then you will be on the Luminous or the Dark Soul. So these are the 2 different sides that you start the game with. It's the Luminous or Dark Souls. Aren't they, special in name? I'm
Lovely.
very bad in name, so I'm quite impressed to see this, and I love it quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Dark Souls, and it brings back a lot of memories, because there is a game in the Dark Souls franchise, if you heard of it. That was a terrifying name for people who have played From Software games before, but of course we're not here to talk about that. Just saying that the name sounds cool. I'm pretty sure the characters are pretty cool as well. If you guys did see the commercial during the break screen, you would notice that there is this one skill that looked pretty similar to Power Shot of Wind Ranger, so that kind of gives an inkling of what we are expecting. But we are going to jump back into the game. The remake has finally completed, so we will finally get the chance to see if Team Engineer can close out game number 2, because for Team LOA, our game devs, they will do the classic 5-man smoke, and they are ready to bring this to a game 3.
Yep, and now we're seeing a very quick smoke coming out from our developer side. Let's see if they can find something here, because their level 1 killing potential is not exactly strong. So it seems like they want to make a bounty rune contest.
And of course, smoke not going to end up in anything, but they might run into some members from the side of Team Engineer. They're going to walk in 4-man into the enemy triangle, and they've gotten the pincer, and that's going to be the plasma field. They found the Razor and the Monkey King as well. The damage is going to try and come through from the side of Team LOA, and that is exactly what you want to look for. DWO with the first blood onto their support Monkey King, and they will now try to turn onto this Razor, but he is under that tier 1, so they should not be able to kill him, but they will try regardless with the Gush starting off. There is some form of slow, but no follow-up. Nonetheless, still first blood for our dev team.
Yeah, you want to be a little careful there. You don't want to rush into the enemy tier 1 tower right there, but that is definitely a very good start for our developer team. This is exactly what you need to do. Exert your dominance in the early game, and Enjoyer on the Razor, you gotta be a little bit careful here, because our developers today, they are super angry, and you can feel that.
Yeah, I mean, when the offlane Tide is in your triangle and gushing you 3 times in a row, you know that things are going to change. But with that being said, we will see how they convert that advantage, that first blood, into an advantage, because we're getting this TIE Hunter going. I believe the TIE Hunter is gonna make its way to the top lane. We'll see what. The TIE Hunter is gonna make its way to the top lane, so that's gonna be some journey for Viv. We had the Disruptor and the Disruptor and the Medusa in the bot lane. So Shadow Fiend into Storm, you talked about this early on, Shadow Fiend will have a better time into the Storm, but making moments when the Storm starts getting that Orchid, it will be kind of a problem for Team LOA to deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure. So this is SF is gonna have like a level 5, 5 levels of timing for him to really shut down the Storm Spirits here. Once Storm Spirit gets to level 6, a lot of stuff can happen. Can always use the Ball Lightning to get some kills on SF or bring in some of the reinforcement from his supports. And this top lane DW also very different stuff coming out from first game. DW was on the Furon position 4 in game 1, not that kind of aggressive position 4 that you normally see. This time around on the Shadow Shaman, level 1 hacks. So that was, a tribute to the level 1 gang that they were needed. Normally you don't get this level 1 hacks so often. So this is shutting down his aggressiveness in the early game a little bit. But once those levels 2 hit, I think this lane of Titan and Shaman is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, of course, the Hex does buy some time for Viv, but they will get the Bushwhack, and Viv is going to be knocked back into the tree. They will get a couple of right clicks in, and one last Spirit Lance will do the job. And the Phantom Lancer will pick up the kill on this TIE Hunter.
Yep, and looking at mid lane, 5-1 against 6-3, so it doesn't look like Storm is getting pressured too much here, and the lane is gonna go pretty well for the Storm. So this is gonna be the trouble, right? Because you have this SF against the Storm, you really want to punish the Storm in the early levels when he's weak. And if you don't get it, and this Storm, if he gets the early Orchid, that could be such a trouble for the supports coming up from Radiant side.
Of course, this Monkey King is going to continue just putting on the pressure. It actually doesn't have the Jingu Mastery at level 1, so this Disruptor will still feel good for a while. And as I say that, it's going to be a Mystic Snake, good magic stick from this Razor to prevent himself from going down. And of course, we'll have this Monkey King at level 2. Boundless Strike is going to be the skill. Meanwhile, Ajax, though he's dropping dangerously low, turns around the race, doesn't really connect, but he does have the Water Rune to regenerate some of that health, because he does have that early bottom as well. So this will keep him healthy and allow him to stay in the lane a bit longer against this Storm, but it doesn't really solve the majority of the problem. He still is looking for that lead.
Yeah, this is where really, as SF, you want to be talking to your supports. Hey guys, come control this rune for me, because they are so important whenever you're playing against any kind of spirit heroes. You want to have total control on the water rune, on the power rune, because the spirit heroes, they are so good with it. So I want to see, I'm looking forward to see this Shaman and Disruptor moving their way to the mid lane to help out with the next power rune, because if they have those kind of if you are managed to establish this status advantage where SF is always healthier than Storm, kills can always happen. And because they are always 50-50, Storm with the Electric Vortex always hold a little bit more killing potential compared to the SF.
Yeah, and thankfully, Monkey King doesn't have the Jingu Mastery just yet, so this Disruptor and Medusa not really pressured too much. He does have the Primal Spring though, so he's gonna jump down and they get a Staggering onto Beth. He needs to get away, but the Boundless Strike holds him in place, and Beth only gets the mana shield online right before the damage takes through, so he will keep himself alive. But the Mighty Cucumber not so lucky, as this Razor is going to whip the Disruptor into shape, trying to dive underneath the tier 1. The mana shield taking a bit more damage, but they still chase this Medusa back. So at the end of the day, it will be Beth going down first, so this Razor reaps a bit more of the reward.
Oh, that is just the classic save your buddy syndrome right there, right? Like, Razor was so close to dying. He was dying in the tower. He really wanted to trick you. He wanted the Disruptor, though not the Dusa, but Dusa went in for his power and unfortunately fall for his body there. And in the mid, Kate Kitty get the first kill against Ajax in the mid lane, and this is what we are talking about, right? You need those support rotation to this mid lane and top lane and bottom side. Once again, Bav is just getting run down here.
Yeah, and Bav just can't do much. Sure, you have the mana shield, but where's the retaliation? It took a lot of tower hits for them to even remotely kill the Razor, and even then, they didn't really get much out of that. And it feels like in this mid lane, kind of the same story as game 1, with Kate Kitty kind of outclassing Ajax in that regard, and DWO also not looking too good. The Doppelganger into Spirit Lance will do the job. The Illusions will finish him off, and Viv is going to be stranded, but thankfully she's still alive. No levels in Kraken Shell just yet.
Yeah, the level discrepancy is really showing up here though. Like, TNT is only level 3 where the PL is already level 5. This means that the Diffuser Blade is going to come up very quickly. Power Threads already completed on PL. So once he get to level 6, he could either on the lane to really just push out the lane, get some Ts into the enemy tier 1 tower, or always can also relocate to the jungle side and farm very efficiently. So this is the kind of the power of the PL right here. And Medusa on the other side, she could also farm jungle, but she's really low level right now.
Oh, they tried to cut the tree, but they cut the wrong tree. There is the Hex on DWO though. Good boundless strike to cancel any follow-up. In fact, they now get the Shackle on top of this Razor, but Beth doesn't really have much damage to work with thanks to the static link. Punball will come back in, take some lightning in the face, and then Thunder Strike. Is it enough? The Mystic Snake will definitely make it enough. It's gonna be a support for support trade. One more Hex on this Razor. Do they have much lockdown to work with? The supports and that Medusa is clicking him down. Mystic Snake cancelled by the infused raindrop. Then that damage mitigation will be sufficient. This Razor gets out once more.
Man, that was such a smart infused raindrop pick up coming out from the Razor there. Oh, Kid Kitty! Does it have mana left?
Oh my goodness! Just one HP for Kate Kitty. Oh, Ajax really wants this 4 more seconds, but 4 seconds is just too long. This Storm, a bit lucky, but maybe for Ajax not so. Get the Hoodwink just coming through with a bit of an acorn shot, but thankfully there is the TP from the Disruptor. Unfortunately, no bottle refill though for Ajax, so he's gonna suffer a bit.
Yeah, that was a good play coming out from the Hoodwink. You know, just really he knows that he doesn't have enough damage to bring down this SF, but with those disable, he's gonna interrupt the bottle refill. So that's already good enough to force SF back home. And bottom side, we are really seeing like Medusa always getting caught in these active scrimmages, and he's really not getting the farm that his opposing PL is getting. So this is gonna be a huge concern for our developer team here. As we see, PL, he knows that he's strong right now. He doesn't want to go into jungle. He wants to stay on this lane to harass Tide to make sure that the laning advantage doesn't just go, doesn't just translate into jungle. He wants to be able to pressure this Tyranitar in the lane. So no reinforcement coming up from the team so far, and Tyranitar once again reminds me of the first game. Just getting led alone in an island.
And Piff definitely not having the best day in this off lane. Like you said, abandoned by her team. That tier 1, dangerously low. DWO has come in, but I don't think they can do much. Meanwhile, Ajax completely caught, tied to a tree by that bushwhack. And of course, a couple more electric vortex and overloads to the face will do the job. DWO just a bit late on the TP. They won't be able to save the Shadow Fiend. And things starting to again go in the favor of Team Engineer. Even though they don't have that much of a goal lead as compared to Game 1, they definitely have the lead overall.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Beth, look at how Pump Below is always, just stalking this Medusa. I would say it's really hard for Medusa to even go into jungle whenever you have this Monkey King jumping on trees, looking at your movements. Oh no, stop.
Oh, good bushwhack onto 2 and the supports. No chance at all. Now the Storm comes in, zips with the ball lightning, electric vortex with a pullback. The kinetic field is just a trophy left by this Disruptor. Beth also goes down, and Razor is feeling pretty good. Beautiful indeed.
Yeah, this is just a struggle for our developer teams right now. They have to kind of start to anticipate the movement coming out from the dire side, because a lot of these TPs are so reactionary, are so responsive. They are always like 2 to 3 seconds slightly late to the rescue. So I think this is where you want to not use your TP so every time we respawn, and start go near to your core, so you don't really have to wait those 2 seconds of TP and finally save your core. So I think this is where the supports really need to start playing with the core a little bit here, and like we say, just put those numbers into strength. I think that is gonna really help our developer teams here. And if you look at the network fleet, 2 minutes ago it was just 2k, and now it's already 5k.
Oh, first Ravage of the game. That's the PL caught in the triangle. Not before he bought that Diffusal Blaze. So some go for Team LOA, but the PL has already gotten what he wanted. That's the Diffusal Blade, and that is the item spike that will start to let Team Engineer come online 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, not only item spike, you have the level spike as well. Disruptor hits level 6 right now. It's the biggest spell for them to really shut down the Storm. I say that to SF.
Oh, has the Requiem, lets it rip, but a good dodge with the ball lightning. He does get feared back, but the question is, can they save Ajax though? Punblo is thinking about it. They do see with the kinetic field. Now Static Storm on top. He's gonna drop down with the Primal Spring regardless. So they can't even kill this Monkey King, who is so elusive. 3 members from the side of Team LA, they definitely want to catch this monkey and put him back in the cage, but he is just way too evasive, and he just jumps away with that Primal Spring.
Yeah, unfortunately, Glimpse wasn't available there. Or They could change the target to Razor though.
This could be a big kill. Eye of the Storm is online. The Razor now caught by 3 members. The Infused Rain Dog is about to run out soon, but the Static Link is causing a lot of problems. This Tide goes down. Oh, Boundless Strike and the Bushwhack and the Ball Lightning. Triple kill for this Razor. He is just unkillable.
And once again, the early hood pickup coming from his offlane Razor is really showing a lot of work. Diffuser play completed on PL. Oh no, Bath! Wrong neighborhood we are in, my friend.
Yeah, and wherever the PL is going to be the PL territory. I mean, look at the mana shield. Just absolutely shred through. Now, having to deal with the mana burn and also tanking the damage is not what Beth wants to accomplish. And DWO, I'm not really sure if you want to be there. Doppelgang will make it a bit hard. The Raze has not enough damage. Oh, he's actually facing with the illusion. Now they find a real one with the Thunder Strike. He sidestepped the kinetic field. One last Doppelganger onto the low ground, and they need just a glimpse or a Raze. Can they find it? It seems like they cannot. A good Electric Vortex by KKD just to save that PL, and that is how you do it correctly.
Oh, those jewels coming out from the PL was really on point. Like, it was hard for Mighty Cucumber because he had to choose from like what, 5 for the PL?
Yeah.
And that's just 20% of your success rate. That was a good attempt though, but I would say even better play coming out from the PL.
It's so hard for Team LOA as the engineers continue to thrive in this environment. Tier 1 top down, Tier 1 bottom also destroyed. They haven't even gotten all of the Tier 1 items. That's how active this game has been, at least for the engineer side. And Punblo, yeah, sure, he only has an orb of corrosion last we checked, but he's feeling really comfortable, perched up on the tree and just scouting where Team LOA is.
And this is really, you know, whenever you're playing Monkey King, it's really hard for you to play from behind, because whenever those Tier 1s are down, oh wait, hold a second.
Oh, the Requiem is gonna let loose Ajax. 1-2 raises, and this one is going to be accurate. Getting the kill on this PL, huge kill for the Shadow Fiend.
Really good find coming out of SF. Also using the double damage rune into very good effect as well. Like just very good efficiency of the power rune. Bottom side Vivian is gonna get run down here by the Razor and smartly TPs away, knowing that there's no disables coming out from the Razor just yet. And meanwhile, we are just seeing Monkey King has been chilling at this spot for quite a while, really trying to give vision for his team to push down this mid tower, and he will successfully do so.
Oh, he's gonna deny the sentry, and they found him, and they placed an ops at the same time. He can actually get some free go while he's getting work done, and he will get a good Boundless Strike, but of course there's a glimpse sending the Storm Spirit back. A kind of an awkward interaction from both teams. And of course, there will be no casualties, but for Punblo, he's happy with that. Some extra go into the bank.
Yeah, I mean, that is just space for FPL, right? Oh, I say Space Razor!
There we go, Static Storm. Static Link is going to be finally broken, but he does have a lot of damage. And attacking this from the Good of Defiance will keep him alive. And they also found Ajax in the back line. There we have the Wukong's command from Punblo. Ajax is in a really tough spot. The sharpshooter from downtown kills off this SF. They have that Ravage. Punblo will finally die. The Serpent was also summoned as well, but DWO finds himself in the middle of this Razor. The Razor will try to run him down and he will get the kill, but Beth Harmon now gets a double kill. The kinetic field, not enough, but the glimpse certainly will be as they finally find his hoodwink, but not before the Mighty Cucumber loses life. And now it's going to be Medusa against a Squirrel. He even digs up a bounty roll before he goes down. Caben rewarding him for his effort, but it's Beth getting a triple kill.
Well, that is a good turnaround for developers, because you're dropping a lot, but your biggest core, the Medusa, is getting all those return kills. So I would say, you know, anything for Captain Medusa, I think that is definitely worth it. Even though they are losing their triangle, they are losing Tom Towers, but in such a desperate situation, if you're able to fit your Medusa 3 kills, I think you'll take that any day.
And across the Medusa slowly catching up. Still a lot of gold behind this Phantom Lancer, but at least it doesn't look as ugly as it was, you know, a couple of minutes ago. 15 minutes in, 7k gold lead for Team Engineer. This Medusa gets a gold injection. So we can definitely, that is a confidence boost for Team LOA, knowing that, like I said, when you have these skills, there's always a window before BKB, before any form of defensive items, that they can start those big team fights and get the win and get those kills.
Yeah, however, this is the big challenge now for our developer side, because you know, you don't have your Ravage, you don't have your Static Storm. This is really where you are going to struggle a little bit in terms of the ability to invite some kills and to defend yourself against the aggression of the Storm, the Monkey King. And this is where you really want to stick together as a whole.
I hear a glimpse. Wonder where could that be? It's gonna be on the Hoodwink, but just have to push right. And that's an Observer War in the high ground.
Yeah, nicely worked there, coming out from Mighty Cucumber. Vision game is very, very important right now. If you're able to, you know, get yourself good vision, that is what is gonna set up good kills for you and good fights.
And it's gonna be DWO call out. That is a Static Storm completely off, and they get hit by the Boundless Strike. The Sharpshooter goes wide. But of course, they will get the kills regardless. The Glimpse just a bit too slow with that channel time. 2 kills, both supports getting claimed by Team Engineer.
Yeah, SF, he has got his use scepter for a while. He really, you know that he really wants to use the combos on either the Storm or the Razor or even the PL. It's just that you never know where is the Hoodwink, and you never know where the Monkey King is as well. You know, there's always these long-range disables coming out from the 2 supports that can really stop you from channeling the Record of Soul. That's why we don't see aggression coming out from SF. We don't see the attempt from the SF as well. It's just really hard from LA. It feels like for our developers, you know, besides responding to the engineers, there's not much space for them to do any proactive stuff.
Good use dodge on that Bushwhack, Doppelganger as well. Sharpshooter connects on this SF. Viv is brought in. They do see the Hoodwink, but they can't really catch him, as the Hoodwink will scurry away in those tree lines. Punblo also shows up on the triangle, but he has that tree jump, and he will be able to leap from tree to tree. They cut the wrong tree, unfortunately, so they won't find this Monkey King. But the Monkey King found 4 members of Team LOA in their own triangle.
10k goalie already for Team Engineer in just 17 minutes of time. And you can tell Storm3, he's not going for the Orchid build that we talked about. He's going for a much more skilling one. Oh, Vivian.
It's gonna be whipped again, and of course that is the Ravage out, but BKB is already activated on this Razor, so that Ravage will not be able to do anything. And of course we will have this ball lightning coming through. That's the DD on Cake Kitty. The Mighty Cucumber not so mighty in this fight because the rest of Team LOA, they're desperately trying to get away. The Requiem goes off after death, but look at this Razor, he's taking a trip in the Raiden base. We have the Stone Gauge from Beb, maybe he can get a kill in return, as this Razor took a bit too long to get out of danger. But overall, Team Engineer just feeling so confident that maybe giving up the Razor to them feels okay.
And this is why we hate this Razor, right? He just pops BKB, press W and runs at you. Like, what are you gonna do? You have no force stuff. You have no anything to, you know, defend yourself against this BKB. There's no BKB piercing ability just yet in this draft, so it's getting really hard. You have to kind of use the Stone Gaze every single time to defend yourself against this Razor. And very soon, Storm3 is gonna hit the BKB timing, and he's gonna run at you together with the Razor, and that is where our developers really gonna be careful. Skadi is quite you know, a distance away from Medusa to hit, and before that you have to deal with the PL as well. PL is gonna come in with the Diffuser Blade to shred through all of your mana, and things are just looking more and more difficult for our developers in this game.
Yeah, and you can feel the tension on the developer side. Just a bit more sweat on their forehead. They're struggling to find some sort of avenue. Max range Bushwhack will take away all of that mana. Of course, Sharpshooter is going to break the Kraken shell. Meanwhile, the Mighty Cucumber will be taken out once again. These guys definitely love their vegetables. There we go. Use Requiem on top, but do they have the damage though? They have the Stone Gaze, and of course, Beth's going to walk in front of the Razor just to make sure he turns to the stone. He will be slowed down, and they still could not kill him off as this Razor just runs away from the fight.
Yeah, he is just a little bit too tanky for the SF Hadusa there. You know, they needed the Disruptor, they needed the Shaman. Unfortunately, they are not that. They are getting distracted in the mid lane. Oh, this is just getting harder and harder for our developers, isn't it? They need their BKB on this SF so that he can finally go in. But then again, once the BKB is hit on SF, Storm3 will have his BKB too. So a perfect team fight needs to be happen or created coming out from developers to really turn this game around. We are not seeing the Tyrant getting Blink Dagger just yet, so the timing could be a little bit later. Dusa finish out the Manta style is going to be so helpful in pushing out the lanes, but the Skadi is really the item that we are looking for.
And it feels like now we are just waiting for that miracle 5-man Ravage into Static Storm into Requiem. Is there any other way that they can kind of hold themselves in the game without the Ravage, or do you think that they need to have the Ravage?
Or I feel like they are kind of in the mercy of the Radiant side, of the Dire side right now. If Dire side wants to be a little bit aggressive, overextend a little bit, I think that is where you stand a bit of chance of coming back into the fight. But if our engineer team here going to play safe,
oh boy, that's the BKB use. Of course, TPL from Ajax, the Mighty Cucumber wants to save his buddy, but unfortunately, that's the support life. Skate Kitty will find a kill, and Viv in no man's land takes a sharpshooter. Well, not really. Sharpshooter goes wide, but it's a zoning ultimate. Still gets the kill regardless, and DWO finds himself underneath the tier 2 and also collected by the Razor. 3 kills for Team Engineer.
oh, that was such a good usage from the Storm Spirit Regen's rune. Like, the entire fight, the Regen rune didn't even went out, so that was some really good skills coming out from Storm. BKB was just completed, and you're seeing the refresher up coming out from Razor. Very soon you are gonna have to play against this 12 second, at least 12 seconds of BKB, and also double static link as well. So everything is getting harder and harder here. The SF BKB is gonna be the last saving grace for our development team here. You need to be able to pull out those Requiem of Soul for the counter initiation, and maybe, just maybe, Tidehunter could connect with the Ravage, and Medusa could also come in with the big damage.
Pretty worrisome for Team LOA. And you can see that the Medusa, Beth, wanting to get towards the Scardy, but he is so far away from that item. And even then, it doesn't feel like it can be enough. In fact, the entire game, look, this Monkey King has been perched on top of the tree, and the courier goes down. That's the ultimate orb. 200,050 gold. Not available for the next 3 minutes for Beth.
Oh, that is really painful. And not to mention, they are about to walk into a tower defense too. So you don't have the 2.1k gold in this defense. And technically, you are only sitting at what, 8k net worth, even though you have 10k right now. Effectively, you don't have those ultimate ops for 10 stats. And it's getting harder and harder here. It will only get harder if our engineer team want to go to the Roshan. And I just don't see how they bring down this PL twice in a row.
Yeah, and PL just got a heart as well, so problem number 95 for Team LOA to solve, and at this point everything looks pretty grim. That bushwhack is beautiful, and that's gonna be DWO getting taken out, and that's the fresh BKB from KKD. He's gonna jump in and get the pullback and take off the Mighty Cucumber. Of course DWO is gonna buy back. Cast a Shackle, that is nice, and Requiem and Ravage, they want this PL dead, and the Hex will secure it. 75 seconds without the PL, but at the cost of a buyback from Team LOA.
Oh, that is worth it for sure. You managed to bring down the biggest hero in the game right now, and that was just a nice buyback camera from DWO, right? Beth have to be careful though. You thought you can get out of your jungle, but no. The Dire side, even though this is a 4 versus 4, they know that they have the item advantage, they have the network advantage. They're not gonna let you get to those farm as easily as just easily like that. And for Medusa, he kind of has to, just get what she is getting right now. It's not much of fun, but you can't really complain too much at this situation.
Oh, we get a Solar Crest for the Monkey King. You can see the Team Engineer, they want more. Refresher up, completed for Razor, and that's the threat, right? Double Static Link, double Out of the Storm, double BKB, but they're gonna start it off by using it straight on this Medusa. Bap is running out of mana, he wants to TP out desperately, and he should be able to get out with his life. About the rest of the team, they're definitely in. Look at Ajax, it's in the back line with that fresh BKB, and he does have the TP, but might be a bit too late though. Now he's gonna start channeling it. Do they have ways to stop it? No, they do not. Ajax also escapes, and that is going to be Team LOA breathing a sigh of relief as they get everyone out.
Oh, I would say that is a good fight. That was a very well done TP out there coming out from the Medusa, knowing that, he's kind of taking a risk there, but that risk rewards big for him. And we are not seeing Engineer going to Roshan yet, means that this game is gonna go a little bit later here, so more building room for the Medusa, more building room to SF. I said that too. Engineer instantly going to the Roshan, knowing that, hey guys, let's not take any risk against the Medusa. Let's get the Aegis and maybe use this to switch. It's definitely gonna get a lot easier to switch tower with the Aegis.
Yeah, it feels like the dev team, they are not going to take the chance at all. The Diffusal has not been used by the Razor in any way. The scan does come out from the Dire side, so Team Engineer just making sure that no one is smoked up, but they have the Monkey King to break it regardless. And now Aegis picked up by this Phantom Lancer. We are going to be certain that they will be the first high ground push in this game, but we will start it off with Viv going down. Here comes Bab. They get a Static Storm on top of this Raider. There is going to be the Stone Gate as well. They lock this Raider down with the Shackle, but he gets the BKB off. Good. Serpent wants to keep him in place, but Bab Farmer, he's had the TP out. There's no way to win the fight, but the Bushwhack from the Hoodwing is perfect. Ravage just a bit too late. It's beautiful on the outside, but there is no follow-up from Team LOA, and Team Engineer have found this huge opening to close out the game.
Oh, that was a rather unprepared one. I feel like our developers didn't really quite see the jump coming out from the engineers, and because of this, they don't have the high ground defense anymore. And there's our instant replay. Tidehunter unfortunately was the first one that got initiated on. They had quite a good opening there with the Razor. It's just that the Storm is just here to distract the two supports in the back line. And yeah, Medusa tried to TP out again, not gonna get it this time.
It's so unlucky because Viv's Ravage was a couple of seconds away, man. If she had that Ravage, maybe that fight could have been 10 times better for the side of the developers. But look at this, the classic PL tower, Fountain Dive does have the heart, does have the Basher, and of course the Aegis. Of course he doesn't really care too much. No Ravage, no Static Storm, 5-man smoke from the side of Team LOA. This feels like one last fight. Good hacks to start it off on the PL, but they immediately lose DWO. The support just could not withstand the onslaught of the Storm Spirit. The backline is Ajax, finds the Hoodwing, finally gets the Squirrel out of the game, but they need a bit more than that, and they've already lost Bab. The Hoodwing is going to buy back. The Razor in the midst of things. They get the bash from the Basher as well, and they will lose Ajax, and it seems like Team Developer, Team LOA have exhausted every single option in this game of Dota 2, and Team Engineer have successfully nailed them in the coffin with that team fight.
And this is just the classic PL that you play up against, right? You let him have a free reign in the landing phase, and you know what? A blink of an eye, 27 minutes later, you are gonna get Fountain Dive by him.
Yeah, and you can hear the panic, the audible panic from our developer. Well, they get the Razor in return, but our devs are not looking too hot on the other side of the room. As
I mean, I'm still, feeling bad, feeling good looking at them, having a bit of chuckle at themselves. They're not feeling too upset. But yeah, I think this is a very good showing from our challenger today. You know, they show up prepared, very well done here, very good draft, played super aggressively. The laning phase was also pretty one-sided, I would say, in both games. That was really what they set up the advantage for them going into this mid game.
And then of course, the devs, they come back to life. But what if's life if there isn't death? Boundless Strike hitting onto 4 and all, the constant bash and the Bushwhack and the Sharpshooter. Everything onto Pep. This Medusa doesn't get a break. Oh, Static Storm, this is good. Can they lock him down? Oh, there's the Ravage on the edge of the silence, but without the Medusa, there's just not enough damage from Team LOA. That was their best shot. They gave everything they had. They used that BKB, but the Skull Basher does not care. And at the end of it, it will be Team Engineer just slowly whittling down our developers as the Ancient is under attack. This is just a classic game of dominance, and GG is called. Team Engineer 2 O's our developers, and they will take this best of 3.
Well, at least this game is a lot closer than the previous run, right? Our developers definitely showing, they are serious about this series. They bring back their 2 comfortable picks in the early on, Disruptor plus Tidehunter. They want to replicate their success again. Unfortunately, our challenges today just a little bit too strong for our dev.
Yeah, just definitely a step up from yesterday. Yesterday it was our developers who were dominating the game against Team Palo, but today it's the engineers. They've gotten a dub for the public. They finally showed us that, hey, we're not pushovers. We can win some games as well, and they definitely kick some butts.
Not only they are not pushovers, they are winners as well, because winning this series meaning that they will walk away. Each of them is going to get 1 beta capsules and 10,000 League of Ancients tokens.
Yeah, and that's a lot of prizes, but of course, success comes with its own highlight reel. Let's take a look at the highlights and the recap for game number 2, because this one feels like a pretty similar story of game 1. Dominance from the laning phase, dominance from the mid-game rotation. It does feel a bit closer. We saw a couple of team fights where Team LOA had a chance, but overall, it was just the pure outclass of Team Engineer.
I mean, laning is really the biggest difference here from these two teams. Our challenger today really showcased that, you know, laning phase is such an important phase in the game where it sets up everything for you in the mid game. And look at all those chain stuns coming out from their heroes. You know, one lead to another, and all of a sudden, bam, you are all gone. And you know, we don't really have all the sustainable heroes on developer side, so they are rather squishy. Once you're getting gone on, everything just falls like domino effect.
Yeah, and okay, you really have to give a lot of credit to the Monkey King. He has landed so many multi-stuns with that Bound Strike, and of course, like you said, the follow-up with that Bushwhack, with the sharpshooter from the rest of the team, of Team Engineers, is just flawless. It feels like this is an orchestra. They are doing everything well, everyone playing their own instrument, they function like clockwork, and Team LOA just did not stand a chance.
I mean, this is just a classic Razor, right? Just running into you with Hood, BKB. He does fall, you know, but you know, Radiant then loses a lot for this. And once again, all those long-range disables, you're looking at this Bushwhack set up by the Hoodwing into the long-range zap coming out from Storm. It was just so hard the entire game for our developers to fight.
Yeah, it take them so much to kill this PL, but it just wasn't enough, right? That was everything in the tank, and right after that, this was where the Solar Crest gets picked up, the refresher from the side of Team Engineer. Sure, both the SF and the Medusa TP out, but even then, it wasn't enough. It didn't really stop Team Engineers.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was one of the early BKB appearance coming out from SF. Didn't manage to get too much coming out from that, and this looks like the last fight that really sparked the ending of our developer teams. The big jump coming out of Storm Spirit to disrupt the two supports, and instantly two supports from full to zero, and Bev tried to TP out again like previously. This time around, not so lucky.
Yeah, and of course they didn't have the Ravage. The Ravage was a few seconds away. That could have been a perfect combo, but the timing was just a bit off. And right after that fight, they realized they really don't have enough damage to even kill anyone from the side of Team Engineer without them taking some sort of damage from the tower or the fountain. It was just an impossible game, but kudos to the dev team, right? They still kept trying. They didn't give up until the throne break. So it was a good game nonetheless, but today the challengers they win.
Yeah, I mean, results are sometimes not not what only matters, right? The process is gonna be important too. Like how you fight to the end really matters a lot, because this is not the last day. We still have another day, so a lot more matches for our developers to play, and I think this is definitely going to be some good learnings for them, because at the end of the day, the prizes are gonna be the biggest. So
it's definitely a lot of takeaway for both the challengers. For the challengers tomorrow who are watching, now you get a grasp of how the dev team plays Dota, and as for the dev team, they do have at least tonight or tomorrow before the broadcast to think about how do we improve our gameplay, how do we amp up that early game, like how do we be a bit more proactive, because that has been the issue that you highlighted, right? They were really passive, and in a passive game they did phenomenally well. They played really good with a lead, but this is the first time we saw them playing with a deficit, and they just were not prepared.
Yeah, and for day 3, it's gonna be the fight of the Immortals. Looking at that, you can know that the prize is gonna be the heaviest out of these 3 days, and yeah. We are in the day 2 of this current event. We are just one more day left, so make sure you tune in to our gate tomorrow, because tomorrow we will be giving away a lot of good prizes as well. And for tomorrow, the prizes are gonna be one immortal skin, which will be the highest rarity level. Yep. And of course, you can trade that as well. You can also sell that in the marketplace, and that is definitely a big prizes that you want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, we've concluded our best of 3, but again, we need some extra input. Pinda says that her input is not needed, but I digress. I think we need her analysis, we need her insight on how Dota is. So we're going to bring Pinda Panda back onto the broadcast, because I would love to hear what she has to say. She didn't like the Medusa pick, and this is the time for her to elaborate on why the Medusa pick isn't the best choice. Welcome back, Pinda.
Love it. You don't need my input, but you need it somehow. No, actually, it's like this is a pub game input, man. Like I'm not a professional player, but this is something you witness every day in your pub games, right? So I'm just giving that knowledge. I think everybody knows that already. Yeah, the PL was so. I mean, the supports were so farmed up on Team Engineer side. They even offered the Tomb of Knowledge to their core. I was like, but you don't need it, and then it's like the supports don't need it. So I was like, okay, oh my god, 22 minutes, you get a heart, you get an S&Y, you get the diffusal treads. Yeah, this is something I was worried about. I saw the heart, I'm like, oh GG, it's GG. This it's already too. He's playing the late game tactic, early game on, and the rest of the game was just very painful to watch. Like I said, the aggression was too real from the engineers. They know what they want.
And you also
The
didn't
Razor.
like the SF versus Storm matchup, right? You talk about how
No.
the high mobility of Storm is going to be able to punish this SF, and it was definitely that case because the two supports were entire game were just getting aimed by the Storm, and there's nothing much they could do.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they have to deal with the PL too. It's just rough.
It's a lot, and then it's like when it's Storm takes care of the supports, right? Once the support's gone, then who else is gonna take care of him or the rest of the team? So the Storm was doing an absolute fantastic job. He was running on so much. He was having such a great time all over the fight. It was just like there's no taking care. And poor SM, I was just looking at his items like, oh man, it was like. It's just painful to watch. Obviously, he needed that Yule super badly, right, to get some kills and just like, but it was just not enough. It was not enough. The Storm is just so hard to deal with.
Yeah, I think our biggest fears manifested in that game. So just to quickly go back to the Medusa point, right? You did pointed out that perhaps they would want to pick some heroes that can fight in the mid-game phase. You mentioned about Terrorblade. Obviously, Medusa came out, and you were not a big fan of that. And we can understand why, because we saw it kind of transpire in-game. So if it's not for TB or Medusa, what do you think would have been a better option, for Beth to pick up that can match up, at that mid-game tempo
With
of Team
PL?
Engineers? I mean,
Oh,
without
God.
seeing the PL, I would say, because the Medusa pick came before the PL, right?
You have the Ursa. I don't know why Ursa is not being picked at all. Like Ursa is actually it's definitely better than Medusa in this game, especially. And Ursa is Ursa is also in the middle. That's the thing. So I don't know why they're focusing so much on Medusa, because Medusa, it's dying down, and I guess I don't know. Have they read the patch? I don't know, man. But yeah, the Ursa is there. They could have even Swen could have been a better pick than Medusa at this point. And it would have been just something to just a hitter, not a farmer, because you've seen when you know that your enemy team, from previous game one, they're super aggressive. So you need something that can stun, do damage, hit at the same time. But Medusa is just it's such a slow hero, man. All you have is your ultimate, but then that has a super heavy cooldown. Plus, if you miss it, like how Razor survived that one. Razor just walked off and he was super low. So you have that kind of problems, right? Even Wraith King is there. Wraith King wasn't bad, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Wraith King definitely was is one of the more popular heroes right now. I think anything that can match the aggression coming out from our engineers here could be good. We talk about how we really didn't want to, look at these late game carries coming out from Death, but they went for it once again and punished once again. So I guess this could be a really big learning point for our developer here. Mid-game hero perhaps suit them a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely
And-
seems like it, right?
Yeah.
They play a very passive laning phase. They want to get their farm and start running over their enemies, but that takes a long time, and you can see that they are maybe not as used to as some of us dealing with all these very aggressive lineups with a storm just zip zapping into your face, and with this Razor who doesn't give a crap about your supports. It's just a very tough game for them to play. But I agree, this could be a learning curve for our team that maybe they can take this into a consideration, and tomorrow we will see a more aggressive Team LOA.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, tomorrow, like we say, right, is gonna be the end day with the most prizes. Once again, 1 immortal skin and 25,000 LA tokens for the winners.
Yeah.
So
I'm good with the tokens, guys. If I'm good with the tokens. I don't need the immortal skins, and yeah, that's for rank 1, right? It's okay. I'm good with the tokens. If you can share that, so that's for giveaway. It's yeah. So
Yeah.
pretty excited about that. But I already entered in the giveaway. Did you guys entering the giveaway?
That's the first thing I'm gonna
yeah,
do.
that's
the first thing I'm
thing,
gonna do after I go back home
Yeah,
today.
you didn't allow me to join yesterday, but no, can I ask for the green light? I definitely will want to be a part of the giveaway.
Cause I'm thinking if you join, then there's gonna be more people competing. It's better you don't join.
Okay,
Just don't join.
I can live with that. But no, for those who don't know, before we close out the day, what is in store for the giveaway again, Pinda?
All right, let's go through with this one. So they have a lot of giveaways. Like I said, it's been said many times. They have the 20,000 tokens as well. The rank 1 is the immortal skin. The rank 2 to 15 is the Genesis capsule. Rank 16 to 40 is alpha capsule. Rank 41 to 100 is the beta capsule. And there's 20,000 LOA tokens giveaway, which I'm going to be a part of. I am pretty sure I'll win. I'm unlucky that way. And not just that, they have 1,000 wallets that'll be randomly selected from all the Stake to Win participants. Now that's a lot, and you have 10 days for that. 10 more days, guys. 10 more days. And it's done. So make sure you hit the link in the description, share it to your friends, and participate. This is the only chance. I think this is one of the most huge, like the biggest giveaway so far. I don't know if we're gonna have this again. So take your chance, and participate.
Yep, take your
Simple.
chances indeed. Wise word from Pinda Panda as always. Enjoy your company on the broadcast, and of course, our challengers definitely took the chance today and walked away with some prizes by beating our developers. But we still have one more day tomorrow for a new set of challenges to see if they can also win the immortal skin, or will the dev clap back with more force. But that is a question that will be answered tomorrow. For now, we're gonna sign off. My name is Sasuke. Here's Arthur, and of course, our lovely guest Pinda Panda. We will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. Until then, good night, goodbye.